Everybody let that superhero life.
You're right.
And May
They're
is
trying to
in this
make Rhodey the
motherfucker.
cool black dude so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Rhodey, you've been with the
You know what
government
it is?
too long for me.
Here's the thing with Rhodey. They don't let him Don Cheadle that shit.
No.
It's true.
That, you know,
It's
they
true.
don't let him Don. If he the kind of Don Cheadle it, like, first of all, that song.
His Iron Man helmet would be on sideways.
And he would dye that hair. He would get all black. He'd be chewing gum. You know what I'm saying?
Hella
Popping
hard.
He
gum.
would definitely be chewing
Okay, we're
gum.
gonna save this.
Okay, no, this is recorded.
Because I'm like,
This has got to go into the cold open.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, Don Cheadle is always Miles Davis and Mouse.
yeah, fair.
He's always Miles Davis and Mouse, right? So that's where we start.
That's
Let's get to
fair.
the other thing. But shit.
Oh god.
Okay,
All right, let's
we're
go.
gonna make it happen. Castro, you go after Ambush.
Got it. I am so ready. You have no idea how ready I am, ma'am. I'm ready and waiting.
Super excited about this episode. I'm Ambush.
I am ready.
You know, I expected the fuckery. I didn't expect it in that way. I am ready.
That was excellent.
I didn't even come up with that till that very second. All right. I'm sorry, Morgan. I'm sorry, Morgan.
I love you.
I know we're in front of company. I'm sitting all on the plastic couch.
You really are right now.
Making that noise is driving you crazy. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
White Walker perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name.
I'm Ambush.
I'm Castro.
I'm Morg, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Michael Brumage.
Hello there.
And we are A Podcast Has No Name.
Mm-hmm.
And today we will be talking about Avengers Endgame.
I'm so
Wow.
excited.
I really thought
I don't
Castro
have
was
a-
going to give me a song.
I don't have a song because when I think of Endgame, I start. This is going to be so close to my heart and in my history, and I'm going to remember this so much. It just makes me start thinking of all the little superhero themes as cartoons. Like any little theme that we grew up on, you know what I'm saying?
It all comes back. Is that X-Men?
That's not CNN.
Yeah, you don't know that one, more. Yeah, I'm a little older. That's, I think that's some Transformers thing, the villains.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the classic G.I. Joe movie, Cobra! Cobra! Sorry.
Welcome,
Or-
Michael.
Wow. We could go back to the 1960s.
Jump out the plane and,
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man,
Look at
et cetera,
that.
et cetera.
This is great. This is
Who
great.
hitting that note? Go ahead,
You
Mike.
hit
Oh,
that
no.
note.
Michael will hit the notes, sir.
Smooth notes. of it.
Smooth.
I am so impressed. Michael, you're making me blush. I'm so happy you're on my show.
Okay, so I'll start with just the summary
Yes.
of a great movie. An Ambush, you can take it from there.
Okay.
Adrift in space with no food or water, Tony Stark sends a message to Pepper Potts as his oxygen supply starts to dwindle. Meanwhile, the remaining Avengers, Thor, Black Widow, Captain America, and Bruce Banner, must figure out a way to bring back their vanquished allies for an epic showdown with Thanos, the evil demigod who decimated the planet and the universe.
Man.
I'm glad they included that universe part because the movie didn't do that well.
It didn't. It kind of left that part out.
Kind of left it out there. And that, we were all waiting for some celestial entity to fly and like, hey, you're doing too much out there, right?
Right.
Okay. Can I start? Because what's the first category?
Character summaries.
Oh, damn. Character summaries.
Yes.
We can get to that, but I want to get to something else.
What is
The trailer. The trailers lie.
Oh, the stock footage.
That liar.
Do you think that they just take like 4 shooting days and say, just throw this shit on and see what happens. We're just gonna
see what they think.
Yeah.
See what they'll think.
So
I mean, we're talking liars, pants on fire. Your mom told you not to do this when you grow up. Like, it's total lies. Like, and I love it because I love not knowing anything. But
right.
I mean, lies. They pull people out of scenes. They reverse the when she brought back Tony, they reversed the scene. Remember, they were walking right to left, and in the movie they walked like all that little shit. Like when they were doing cute things with like was and stuff in Guardians, I loved it. But now it's just like, what's the point? I don't know what's happening in the movie. You know, I don't know. I ain't telling you. You ain't telling me. Let's go.
Yeah, don't even watch the trailer. Who needs it?
Castro, I love.
Like where y'all.
I love it. I love it. I put a post on Facebook last week. It may have been right after we saw the movie or the following day.
Literally as we walked out of the theater.
Man, I said this is how much they love us. I know you're not on Facebook, so you don't see it. This is how much Marvel loves its fans. They will lie to us to protect us from theorizing our way.
To death.
You're right. Theorizing ourselves to death on what's going to happen in the film. They're feeding us false information to make sure we're going to have a great viewing experience.
I feel like you can look at that a different way, though.
You're right, because they save us from ourselves.
Yeah.
But check this out. What was the first beat we picked up from when we saw the still? When we saw Ant-Man, they're going back in time because it says 1983 in the top corner. That's not a real picture. That's a picture from the past. I remember that was the first time thing people picked up on, and it was wrong. But we are time traveling, and we would have fucked it up thinking about it that early in the game. That was last year.
Well, what's the name? Samuel L. He dropped that bomb.
I didn't see that. I missed
in the interview he said it was actually after the Captain Marvel movie, and he was doing press for that. And he was like, she brings so many different elements and different powers to the franchise now. Like, we're talking about time travel. And, and the person that interviewed him was just like,
he said that third. If he didn't say that first, if he said it third amongst the list, nobody would have known.
Right. It was just like, Sam, sir?
No, but
You're pulling a Ruffalo.
Ruffalo was worse because Don Cheadle's reaction, come on, you just cost me 100,000. Like, that sounds like
I mean, he definitely looked like they got fined. Don Cheadle would get fined for Mark Ruffalo.
And Don Cheadle also had the look on his face. I will never do a press junket with you.
And hasn't.
Like, I'll do with anybody else, and hasn't. No, he won't.
No solo ones with him. He'll do the group
but think about
ones.
it. He's a professional. That seemed unprofessional. Like, you're getting too swept up in the moment. And I don't want to work with him in that capacity. Don't put me next to him on the dais. Don't put me next to him on the dais.
Well, that's like why they always have Cumberbatch with Tom Holland or someone else with Tom.
Cumberbatch is with Tom a lot.
Keep him.
Really? What's that?
Oh yeah, because Tom
Holland's the second worst. Yeah.
He's the worst.
No, isn't Brie Larson the worst now? Isn't Brie Larson the worst? Isn't she awful? She's awful, y'all. Y'all gotta
I don't know about this. I haven't seen her.
Oh, she cursed her and Chris Hemsworth. She like yelled at him. I don't want to be Tom Cruise like at a junket. Like, and he's like, yeah. Oh, she's the worst. That's why people don't like Captain Marvel. If you look online, it's because of how she is in the press junkets. They like hate her, and they think they said she's going to be the main star. They can't stand it because they hate her.
There's a level of sexism to that too.
Let's slow down. The first thing that we're talking about is these particular actors spoiling parts of the movie or revealing things. Is that what Brie Larson is doing?
No, it's just
they just don't like her. Period.
So they're taking how she's acting. She's young. She doesn't have as many movies under her belt, but she's kind of arrogant and chest out. And they're going ham with it because, of course, she's a female lead and she's kind of taking over the franchise in a sense. And like so like one time she asked for more cultural diversity in the press room, but I don't know. It's not what you say; it's how you say it. And so a lot of people were like, "What?" And she just. I think she's acting too big for her britches. Like she was with Chris Hemsworth.
Flat out sexism.
Yeah,
I
fanboy sexism.
But Morg, I would want you to look at and read some of these things and just make.
I will. I'm super interested, and I will. I just she has a bigger history than
people give her credit for.
Yeah. So
this isn't her first comic film.
This isn't her first. Yeah.
Let's start with that.
But she is the least experienced coming in at this stage in the game. Can we agree?
Sure, but she's supposed to.
You mean coming into the MCU?
Yes, that's all I'm.
That's just saying she's a new character. Sure.
My thing is, Tom Holland was new, and
right.
It's about
and
what you
he
want
literally
to find,
is out there being reckless with information, and no
Super
one's
reckless.
like, he's out there with his chest
Oh, what
out,
did he do?
He's brand new.
What did he do?
Oh, so you missed all of this.
So he.
Yeah,
I just watched.
If I see a headline with it, I won't click it
of all of Tom Holland's cuts of.
There's like there's a super cut video of like 6 minutes of him just fucking up over and over, either on live TV, or on his own IV screens.
He's a super leaker. He's a super leaker, dude. He's worse than Ruffalo.
So one person was like, "Tell us more about your movie," blah blah blah, and he's like, "Well, the second one," and the dude's like, "Wait, what? The second? What?" Because at this point, there's only the one movie, right? And he's like, yeah.
Well,
there's
that's
a 2
out.
and a 3, so whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? Like, you definitely don't get to do that.
He definitely did I'm Alive. Remember that?
Oh, he did. He ran out on stage and yelled, "I'm alive."
Yo.
What?
Infinity War.
Castro, Tom Holland is the absolute worst.
Oh, man, you're getting
like,
a gag order.
Talk about inexperienced. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
What?
Like,
Yeah.
what did he do before
All right,
this?
so let's talk about him. What did he do before this movie? I can't even
Right.
remember now. Anyway, I'm sorry. All right,
Yeah, so I'm that Brie Larson shit. I don't know. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Take a look. Get back to me. But yeah, that's the new thing. It's hating on her and her film so
It's
bad.
terrible. It's terrible. All right. So let's jump into the character summaries. Do we want to start with Kat? Is it the top
I just
of the list?
listed them as I remembered them. I was
okay.
listing them as I remembered them. I wanted to catch everybody. So pretty much the list that I put in the outline is all of the survivors of the snap, people that were still there.
Right.
So I just wanted to start. We can talk about everybody else as they come back, but let's start with. I mean, you want to go from the bottom up?
Yeah, let's do exactly that. We'll start with Nebula.
And Thanos is missing from this too.
Yeah, sorry.
All good.
Okay. So put him at the top. Put him above Cap. So we start from the bottom up.
Okay.
Nebula. I think she's like low key the dark horse star of the show. She did a lot. Character building this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been with her. How many films have we been with Nebula now? 3. This would be the 3rd, right?
No, this is 4.
The first Guardians,
4.
right?
Isn't she in the first Guardians?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Guardians.
Infinity.
Yeah, this is 4.
Endgame.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think she's had a very interesting arc. You know, and I was surprised at how much she was in the movie being a viable, like helping, either being a part of it, whether it was her. Being her present self being part of the team and really being helpful. That was really surprising to me. I think low key she was like one of the all-stars of the movie.
And they kept her personality extremely consistent. Like her performance, starting from where we meet her in 3 movies ago to this, is all very consistent. And then we have the difference in another version of her that comes along later.
Right.
Right.
We still have this excellent consistency in how the character is portrayed.
No matter where she is. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. No matter who
and
she's
I
up
remember
against.
we did I can't remember which movie it was, but I don't know, maybe a couple years back we mentioned, I don't know what it was, but we mentioned how she just wanted her sister. Right. And how that unlocked her so when her and Gamora actually like let go of their stuff and got together. Pretty much in Infinity War, right? That's their big Okay. All right.
Guardians 2. Guardians 2 is when they everything mended.
When they get it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they had the little fight. Yes. Okay.
Right. Right.
She flew a spaceship into her. Yes.
Yes.
So up next we have Professor Hulk. Who wants to take that?
Well, this.
What were you gonna say?
I'll just be really quick because I don't know anything about Professor Hulk except for what Aaron has told me, and it's coming. He's coming. It's coming, and then it was there.
And you predicted Professor Hulk?
Well, it wasn't much of a prediction. It was the toy leak pretty much killed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that messes us up.
Yeah, the toy leak killed it.
I want to talk about the toy.
Go ahead.
So, I was thrown in the beginning.
Okay.
Surprise, Mark? were taking you didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it, and it was different for me. They are two separate things in my mind, you know. So to put it together,
it was interesting a certain way, y'all, right? Like, you know, the 5-year jump, and then we go meet him. He's like, we didn't see any experiments or anything like that.
Right, we did. Yeah, we saw no trying to get to here. We saw the last we saw, he was just Hulk.
Erectile,
just Banner.
I was thinking of Hulk for some reason. Come again?
Say again.
Erectile Hulk dysfunction.
Yes, erectile Hulk dysfunction. That's what was happening.
That is exactly what was happening. Sorry, it took me so long. I was like, did we see his dick in this?
No, but Thor did. In Ragnarok.
Definitely did see
Thor,
his dick in this.
yeah.
You're right. Okay, I'll stop being vulgar. My bad. I liked Professor Hulk by the end, like not even the end, but just it took me a couple of minutes to get used to that, to Banner in the Hulk body.
Right. Right.
But I really liked the CGI of it. He looked really good.
Actually,
I liked it. Michael's giving me a face, and you'll go next.
Michael.
I liked him sitting at the table, like. I liked that scene where he had all the, you know, every scrambled egg that's ever been made in front of him and cleaned out a whole cow to make some sausage. Like,
right.
Yeah, like I liked that scene. With the sweater, fam? With the sweater? You didn't like the
cardigan?
The cardigan? That was awesome.
Sweater was awesome.
Yeah.
What do you got, Michael?
My thing with the Professor Hulk was not the performance, was not... I like Mark Ruffalo. Mm-hmm. It didn't always suspend my disbelief. That it was a visual problem most often because his size was very more inconsistent than what the Hulk's been in previous Marvel films.
I agree.
So sometimes he's sitting there and he's probably going to be 8 feet tall.
Oh,
and
you know, you're
then sometimes it's there. He's in the room, looking all sweatered up and whatever, and they're having a casual conversation in the Avengers living room, and he's
the size of a wrestler.
Size of a wrestler. And I feel like if you were going to do if you're going to make Professor Hulk useful, stay with a little bit more of the large football player size, and then when something happens, he gets bigger, grow a little bit, and it gives you a little better impression. But he just didn't. I just didn't feel like there was it just wasn't effective always on the screen. Parts of it looked great, and other parts were. I don't know.
No, you're right. There was an inconsistency with size.
So wait, let me ask y'all this. In light of this and how much CGI they actually have to devote to this, was he really fighting a lot when the fights happened? Did you see Hulk actually fighting, punching things? I don't remember that.
Not really. No.
Good point.
No.
Good point.
I don't remember him like in the battlefield, like tossing it, like not in the time travel stuff at the final battle. At the end.
Come to think of it, not so much.
Out, man.
I mean, there was tons of CGI. They had an opportunity to just roll the dice and include him and everyone else, but you're right. There wasn't a lot.
Like doing something in the background. But like on first view, I thought I was misremembering. I don't remember him like really fighting.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Right. Where was he?
Okay.
Now I'm.
Now all together, where was it?
So where Okoye's about to be? Why was he up there?
What was he doing?
Man. So up next, Okoye.
Speaking of.
Man.
I always want more.
Yeah.
I always
never enough of
Okoye.
Okoye.
There's never enough of Okoye.
I want to temper when we say that, because I can say that about a bunch of characters.
Yeah.
It's just, it was a lot of characters, so we can kind of say that. So we can make note of it and say it about each character, but let's go in knowing that's kind of the game we're playing.
It's the game for everybody. Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like with Shuri, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
There's never a time I want to see Pepper Potts. So they could have taken her out.
Okay. Well, wait 1 second. Castro, give me a second. Castro, give me a second. I have to tell you what happened. While in the theater, Pepper comes on screen in the rescue armor, and Morgan says, "Oh, who cares?"
Morgan!
In the theater. Who cares?
Morgan! To be fair. There was like a taller. And I was just like, for real? Like, nobody give a fuck about Pepper Potts.
Because it was like
and
a
then
comic
Ambush
book
was like,
fan
everybody heard about Pepper Potts.
Yeah, it was a wet dream to see her in the rescue armor. We've been,
fair enough.
Yeah, Iron Man fans have been waiting.
So that was a pimply guy in his basement with his hand in suspicious places, reading his book. You know, he came to the booties. You know, that's what that was.
Did she wear it in Iron Man 3? Because I believe that is the only MCU movie I have not seen.
So she didn't wear that armor in Iron Man 3.
No,
she wore a different armor.
Yeah, like she just jumped in some Iron Man armor. And it just
to save Tony at one point, and then she got the extreme.
And then, all right, well, you told me that she matters is because she saved Tony.
Well, no, I'm gonna admit to you more. When there's girls in comic books and they have like breasts and the armor goes around their breasts, like we get like it's just since we were kids, okay? Like we were kids, and like this is the closest we got to titties. So, like,
So wait, you want to hear something really, really funny?
Michael looks so uncomfortable right now.
You want to hear something super funny? So I'm in the comic book store late last week. Well, I'm in the comic store regardless, and there was a father and son in there, and the father's like, pick whatever books you want, and the son's picking up certain books. He's like, nah, it's a little bit too adult. Maybe not this one, maybe not that one.
Get whatever you want, psych.
Right. So he's trying to steer him away from the adult content. But then he says, which tells his age, he's like, oh, Elvira, you want that?
Whoa!
And I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean?
Elvira is, okay.
And he kept pushing him to it. He was like, you're not interested in Elvira?
No,
I'm like,
Dad,
get it for,
like he's dead.
Get it for yourself, sir. Get it for
I'm
yourself.
I'm not a creep. It's just, Elvira is like a moment for us. Like, these things were in our face. Like,
Yeah.
And it was horror, and if you were even a little horror fan, you loved just watching her introduce the stuff. She's wearing all black, and it's just, she knew what she was doing.
Right.
I was a Dolly Parton fan. I didn't listen to one Dolly Parton song in my lifetime.
Not even 95?
Not even 9 to 5?
Come on. 9 to 5.
Wow. I remember she played that on her fingernails on Good Morning America.
Are you serious?
Yeah, her acrylic nails.
Oh, because, she does. She does. I've seen her.
Working 9 to 5.
Shut up.
Way to make a living. She was totally doing it on her nails. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? She has what on her nails?
She has acrylic nails.
She was playing her nails.
So
making the beat with her nails.
When 9 to 5 came out, that would have been the time that, like, Good Morning America was on TV before we went to school in the morning.
Right.
And I vividly remember that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Super wild.
More breasts will burn a memory into a young boy's soul.
Yep.
To a young boy's soul.
We were
even the
at
ones
Okoye,
not checked out.
Right.
I was just trying to say, which equipment?
You know.
I missed it. I was talking. Maybe you'll give it to me later. So Okoye.
I did once. There's a picture.
What is that reference?
Got receipts.
No, there's a Morgan's breasts are probably the only ones I've ever honked in this life. It was like a double, triple dare, and Morgan's like, sticking her chest out, I dare you. And I just wanted to die.
I remember now.
Oh wait, we're talking. You honked.
No, like I honked on, I grabbed her. Yeah. Anyway, this is wow.
So isn't that like honking like a monster truck? Like you get the wheels.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Gracious.
How do I turn it off? I'm leaving.
What
the fuck is that?
He's like the worst little brother right now. Or he's the worst older brother right now.
Wow.
He's like the worst older brother.
The analogy, so our listeners can know, like she's
Oh,
blessed.
Yeah.
She's blessed.
That's
Okay.
that's like you're hanging out in the basement with your friends.
Wait.
No. This is like she's hanging out in the basement with her friends, and the older brother Castro's like, "So what are you guys doing in here? Doing dumb girl stuff? This is what you're doing right now."
Wait. Am's blessed.
Good night.
Oh my god! Do we even do Okoye at this point?
So Okoye was in this movie. Captain
Yes.
Marvel.
Yes.
Carol Danvers.
Carol
Was
Danvers.
she too minimal for y'all? Was that too minimal?
I would have liked more, but the whole problem was that not her superpowers, not her presence, but merely she filmed both Infinity War and Endgame before she even had a script for her own film. So
really, I did not know the logistics.
This was shot before she really had a chance to
knew
who Carol was,
right.
outside of just reading comic books for prep.
Right.
And so
she hadn't developed her version of her.
Right.
And I feel like
is the version I watched Captain Marvel. Is Captain Marvel version a little more fleshed out than
I'm sorry. You said you haven't watched Captain Marvel?
Yeah, he said that earlier when he said he didn't finish listening to that episode because he hasn't seen the movie. So
wow. Let me ask you a quick question. Castro.
Yeah.
Why would you watch Endgame knowing that Captain Marvel ties heavily into that?
Okay, so I'm a YouTube fanatic. I'm ashamed to say so, but I watch a lot of YouTube, and I subscribe to a lot of spoiler content providers.
Okay.
So I have to do a delicate dance and mute stuff. So I started seeing just the stills of videos, and they spoiled some of Captain Marvel for me. And Zilla, my best friend, he went and saw it. So I just called him up. I said, "Yo, just spoil the movie for me. Tell me what happens. Go beat by beat." So I just allowed him to tell me the movie, and I'm gonna watch it. But at that point, I was running out of time. I was going to try to see it. Thor was a little different.
I remember.
Thor is friggin' awful. So, but yes, I told you to tell me what happened. But I called. No, but are we getting sidetracked, y'all?
No, big time.
Yeah, because you're lying. You're saying terrible things. So, all right.
The point is, if I run out of time, I'll just tell my friends that know me. I'll be like, "Yo, just tell me what happens so I can stay, on beat." So that's what I did with Captain Marvel.
Okay, so to answer your question, yes, she is much more fleshed out.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's I don't know. There's an arrogance that comes with being that powerful, right? You have to be somewhat peasant. But she's also warmer in that movie, and I think in this movie, she's a little more just straight to the point. Her face doesn't ever really get warm. She's not here to smile for you. It's just flat out. I'm doing what you guys all do together by myself out there in the universe.
Do you think that's conveyed
for decades?
Properly?
I think that's the
23 years,
right? And that's why it works for me. Mm-hmm. This is a more hardened, war-torn version of Carol.
Oh, sure.
So she's a soldier now. You know what I mean?
They got lucky in that then.
They definitely.
They applying the more present day, going through all of this stuff, solo missions out there in deep space, and now she has to come to Earth to help out. That probably worked out very much in their favor, considering the warmer Carol in her origin movie. Mm-hmm. That's the 20. So that's a good buy.
Yeah, because think about how she came in. She was like, "Okay, so what are we doing? Let's go kill him. What are we talking about?"
Yeah, I'm leaving to go kill Thanos.
Yeah, I'll get up with you guys later.
I suspect she was cut from Infinity War because by the time they were in the post-production and editing process of Infinity War, that perhaps they were that her movie was already scripted and so forth. And decided, we're gonna have to trim something back. We need to save her for Endgame. I don't know specifically what they cut. We don't know enough about what was shot.
Captain Marvel probably.
Disney and Marvel Studios are so good about locking their sets down that unless they're filming outside, we don't really have a clue as to what's going on.
Very true.
And so there could have been more. We just don't know what's on the cutting room floor. It's kind of like there's a significant outline and stuff from old script material for The Force Awakens where we learn, this is what they might be using for Leia in The Rise of Skywalker, but we just don't know. So there's just it's not. No one's talked about it. None of that stuff ended up as deleted scenes.
Well, let me
so
ask
I'm supposing that we get more with the Endgame Blu-ray release.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask Phil, how much further can you write ahead? Now you got this Marvel Cinematic Universe, this 22 films. How much? I know people budget for it, or it's going to be these sequels and stuff. But how much further can you write ahead with these things if the success doesn't hit? They're not going to give you a third one or whatever like that. So how, you know, how much can you project these characters into the future?
I think you can plan out. The easier part is to do the expansive, and then depending on how certain things go, you reel it back in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can take things out and say, okay, the Eternals didn't hit,
well,
so we're not going to worry about that. You know, in all the way in Phase 5, they're not going to make it there, or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I think you write as big as you possibly can, and you keep trying to add, and then you fine tune and reel it back in.
Yeah, the Inhumans are a good example.
Yes,
they put so much into that, and because it failed so horribly, no one ever has to mention them again.
Right.
Like,
but now they're going to do the Eternals, learning all of the lessons they learned from the Inhumans.
Yes.
The Eternals will be way.
Well, and Inhumans wasn't Marvel Studios. That's Marvel TV. So
Right.
that's more like Marvel Comics rather than.
But don't forget they
MCU.
They did IMAX.
They did
an IMAX
like 3
release,
episodes,
but
I think.
the Inhumans was on the
Television,
MCU schedule
Mm-hmm.
several years ago,
It
as was the originally announced Captain America Serpent Society or something of that nature. Wasn't that right?
Did. Yep.
Remember, that was a red herring.
That was a total red herring for Civil War, or was it
Winter
for Winter
Soldier?
Soldier?
For Winter Soldier.
It was for
It was
Winter
red herring
Soldier.
for
I
Winter
believe
Soldier.
you're right. Okay.
Bastards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just gave me chills. I totally forgot about that.
I know. I got the same thing.
So wait, did we? I mean, Serpent Society was Serpent Society's that crew adder and all that stuff that take the snake names, like that whole big organization. That's what. But they wouldn't have done it like that. They would have made them like generals with weird nicknames probably.
But doesn't Serpent Society? Does that tie into Hydra?
It ties into Hydra.
And that was a whole big part. Wasn't that part of the big storyline in the 1970s when Captain America, dumped the costume and went to become Nomad,
right?
And had this his blonde hair sticking out the top and had a cape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of the short cape.
America's
short cape. No, short cape. More short cape. It only went mid back.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad look.
Oh, I'm so glad you know that, Castro.
Sorry, I was thinking of that. Those snake people, like Anaconda and all of that. When I was
there's the Python and
Puff Adder. Yeah, the ones with the snake powers.
Yeah.
Because they're Avenger villains, right? They mainly fight the Avengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're that big. They're organization. Okay, sorry, not to trail off.
So up next, we got Hawkeye/Ronin. I really enjoyed that. Starting the movie out with Hawkeye taking that
gut punch.
Oh my god!
Punch, that was a little like, don't forget where we're at. Like, don't forget where we're at, y'all. I know y'all seen the colors and lights and the sound, but don't forget where we're at in the story. That's what that did for me.
Yeah. It was a cold reminder. Like, if you had any emotions at all at the end of Infinity War, they were just immediately picked right back up.
Right back.
And I don't know what I expected, how I expected the movie to start, but it definitely was not that.
Yeah, I agree. It was not that.
It was definitely not with the decimation of Hawkeye's family.
Oh,
like, I did not see. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't think that would be the opening.
Yeah.
A flashback.
It's softer, or him telling the tale of how he got
right.
Him turning around, him bending over, and his daughter turning into dust. No way, yo.
Oh my god.
Oh.
The cap I wanted on that particular sequence was something falling out of the sky.
Oh.
Because we don't cover anything like airplanes suddenly dropping out of the sky.
We got the helicopter,
or things just.
We got the helicopter.
We got the helicopter at the end.
Helicopter things
in the bonus scene.
Yeah, we did get at the end. That's right, but
you're
I just
right.
feel like there's
more of that.
I kind of anticipate like something else is going to happen. Oh no, they gave us the scene. Okay, good.
I think they were really going for.
And happened a lot of other series
pulling
when
on
this
all
drastic
of
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say again, Castro.
Yeah. In other series, they do that, like the 4400 or what was they called, the remain. They do show leftovers. And sometimes the CGI is hokey, Michael, but they do show like a couple of planes crashing when everything goes down. Like when they do Why the Last Man, they'll probably do that set probably the way we want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Last Man? Anybody when all the men on the planet disappear all at once, and they have a lot of because check this out. I only bring up Why the Last Man because you brought it up. They show you the stats about who operates these machines and why they go down. So it was like 90% of pilots, American pilots, were men.
Oh wow!
So that's why all the planes fell out the sky type shit. How discrimination has led to and they just go to railroad. Real quick, they just go to like locomotives now. And why the last man? If they do it right, it'll be real great. It's a graphic novel.
I can honestly say at this point, Jeremy Renner has become one of my favorite actors. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Because I mean,
in light of Jason Bourne,
I was going to bring that up. A lot of people hated that one. I loved that.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I loved that.
It was better than the last one. That Jason Bourne
Supremacy.
That last one. No, the last one.
That was the last one. Supremacy.
No, the one that's after that. It's just called Jason Bourne. Remember? Or it's called Bourne. And he came back. Matt Damon came back.
Oh, okay.
It's an awful one.
Oh.
You don't know that? Y'all didn't see that one? It's awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
Now
that you describe it, I have seen it because they're both in it, right?
Is that the one with both of them in it?
Yeah.
So that was the last one I
Renner
needed
is
to
really
see.
good throughout the whole film, but Matt Damon's kind of.
He lost
warm.
the mojo.
Yeah, he lost some of his mojo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So yeah.
He's too busy playing Loki.
Oh, little play scene.
Wait, real quick. I really I liked Hawkeye's whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way they really played up their he and Black Widow's relationship and their friendship from having previous missions that were just as crazy or
Budapest.
Yeah.
I love that.
But, yeah. I really.
That was great.
Yeah, I really appreciated, and I always do. I love Hawkeye. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
It was rough.
I know that he was going around the world and just killing all the bad guys.
Right.
But in a bad guy way, I guess.
Yeah. Mercilessly.
But I didn't feel bad.
No.
I wasn't mad at him.
Well, no, it's the package that we're looking at the present. So he's pretty much doing Frank Castle.
Yep.
Well, he's my favorite. So
she loves Frank.
We've accepted the Punisher for decades, right? We've justified the Punisher for decades now, and so he was doing his Punisher,
he's the best man.
Castle, no, you don't understand. She loves the Punisher.
I really do.
Oh, so you like the Frank Castle series? You were down.
Oh
with
my God,
Frank
they can let go of every other one.
Yes.
Well, which other ones did you like? Did you like Punisher Warzone?
Except for the Iron Fist. It's a piece of shit.
No.
Oh,
Not
she's
the Marvel series. The Punisher movies.
Oh, no.
There is no other Frank Castle. This is the only Frank Castle.
That's the only Frank Castle she acknowledges.
Even your man that was in Deep Blue Sea with the blonde hair and they made it black.
Terrible.
This is the only Frank Castle.
Have you seen the short that has
I'm
Thomas
on board,
Jane
Mark. I don't want no smoke. I'm on board.
in it? And
I didn't
what's
think
his
about
name
it.
who played Hellboy as the guy behind the counter?
No.
You haven't seen this little short on YouTube? I know a guy who has worked on the production, actually. But there's this, it's amazing. There's a short with Thomas Jane and who's the guy that plays the first Hellboy?
Ron
Perlman is in it.
Ron Perlman.
And it's dark.
Really?
And it's really bloody.
Thomas Jane, but he has his own film.
Right. But
Right
there's just
across from, who's the villain? Grease. John Travolta is the villain in that Punisher.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen a Punisher film. I haven't even seen the series.
God
But
bless
I
you.
just know I've seen this. There's a short film that was made later after he was no longer the Punisher.
Wow.
And it's
He was never the Punisher.
Yes.
Okay.
He was never your Punisher.
He was never
not
the
Dolph Lundgren either.
Fuck that.
Oh, man. That was... You know what? Dolph Lundgren happened in a time when we were just
rough.
anxious.
The
We were just
Warzone.
we were Casio, be honest. We were willing to accept anything back then for Dolph Lundgren. To
Yeah,
work.
I mean, if you put a costume on,
Yeah.
I don't care. But Dolph Lundgren is like,
Yeah.
all right, for instance, and I know we're way off topic, but I want to go there. Like Judge Dredd is oh my God, that's a hell of an exercise to get through. It is rough. That is a mental, you want to test soldiers, you want to go to Abu Dhabi and all that shit, put that shit on it. They'll break. All right, so anyway.
War Machine. Which
Yes.
I think is Don Cheadle to John Cheadle to Don Cheadle.
He's just a war machine, and he don't work for nobody but you. Ooh, yeah, he's just a war machine. Yeah, baby.
He's window dressing, right? He's more prop than character.
Oh
right?
my God, that's so
You think you feel like that? You feel like he's more prop than character?
I feel like he's part of the Avengers HQ. He's like one of those characters now. Like
Yeah.
Tony's around, War Machine's around. He's like he's part of the.
He's like Coulson or something. He's just there.
Yeah, like he comes with the place,
He comes with
Alfred,
the place.
Like he's not a
He's a
butler,
furnished apartment.
It comes with a roadie.
Oh, that's bad.
No, I don't mean to minimize him. I do love people of color in these type of movies and
Right.
stuff, but he is like, part of the ensemble. He's part of the ensemble.
Yeah.
I would say.
Certainly.
But this movie,
I
they
will
gave
say
him
I'm
some
always
good.
happy
They
to
took
see
away his good. What'd you say, Morg? I'm sorry.
I'm always happy to see him. In
Definitely.
They took away his banging line from the trailer. Liars.
Which
What,
line?
He killed all our friends. He didn't say that, did he?
Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So they took away.
Liars.
But
I'm on this
he did give us greatness in Civil War when he tricked Banner into bowing when they got to Wakanda. That's always
That was beautiful.
That's always
Yeah.
great.
That's classic.
It's like,
The
what
way
are
he
you
played
doing?
it, yeah. What's wrong with you?
What are
Why
you
would
doing?
bow?
What are you doing?
Okay. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was a superstar.
Ant-Man really.
Okay.
Without him,
He
what would we be doing?
Yeah.
Actually, it would be the rat.
Well,
Yes.
That's
The
see,
rat
I was
is the most
saving that
important
for
part.
the end.
Oh, I'm sorry, I took your punchline.
No, but that's fine.
Oh wait. Don't forget that Hulk also held up the whole Avengers HQ when it got blown up on it, and that's an iconic scene from a comic.
It
I
is.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Because they kind of shot it a certain way, and it didn't look.
So it
and then
looked
they
like
pulled back. I was like, oh, he's holding up.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
didn't
damn thing.
understand what he was holding up the first time. I didn't realize it was an entire building.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
You
holding
remember
up
that
the
cover?
entire
Is it that
building.
Steranko cover?
Yep.
Where he's
Yes.
bent over
Yep.
to one side and his back is
Secret
arching?
Wars.
Yep.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
yeah.
Secret Wars,
Yeah.
and he's like, he's Rage Hulk at that point, but he's holding up all of them while they're planning some way to get out. A mountain. He's holding a mountain on his
Yes,
back.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe it's a different image.
So, yes, Ant-Man, definitely, he was more than just comic relief, but you can always count on him for that. It really does amaze me that Paul Rudd was able to fit into this universe the way he
No,
has.
listen, I think it was meant to be. It was like Kismet because it worked so well.
Yeah.
Like him and his cronies, they work in their little side universe.
Mhm.
And remember, they got serious. Hope is serious as shit. Hank is serious. His wife, they're serious as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They
But
get,
he gets to be Paul Rudd as a superhero.
He really does.
You could take most any of the characters he's played, and he's that guy as Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to be like he's one note. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, it's like they wrote it for him. Right?
Yeah.
Like how it feels for Deadpool.
Well, that's
Yes, and Ryan Reynolds. Correct, 100%.
It feels like,
But that's
like it didn't exist before that person.
Yeah.
But I know it did, and but that's what it feels like.
Thank God they got it right.
But that goes to them picking. That goes to them picking Scott Lang as opposed to them trying to have
Hank Pym.
Excuse me,
Correct. Yes.
Hank Pym as the first one. By moving it to Scott Lang, somebody with a different background, so you could kind of mold the character a little different.
Yeah.
I thought that was genius. Was the how old is the daughter?
she
Now,
would be a
like-
teenager now.
Like 15? Like was she 10 in Ant-Man and the Wasp? Somebody told me she was 10 in that. I
That
thought
could
she was
be.
She would have to be
Oh.
for this to work. Yeah, she had to be like 9 or 10.
I don't
Okay.
remember how old she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No,
I think
she's a small girl, but they didn't make her like she wasn't 4 or 5 more. They didn't make her
she
like
was
that.
like 4 or 5 in the first one,
Right.
Right.
or 5 or 6.
Right.
Like she was.
Yeah. In the year of So
Give
like,
her-
they made her.
maybe 6 or 7. Because she was in that really cute stage of like, I can talk really,
Yeah,
really.
she knew what was
Be a
going
little
on.
smart aleck.
Yeah, she knew what was going on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Okay.
I want to mention about what you said about what's the actor? Scott Lang? Not Scott Lang.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the most
Yes.
impossible dialogue that I don't even know if Chris Hemsworth could sell. but Paul Rudd makes it seem normal and possible, and
like,
this is all actually like what's supposed to happen.
In a room full of superheroes, this is what Ant-Man says. He doesn't really understand it all.
You know,
all the time.
It's like he represents the layman.
Yeah.
He represents those of us that are just like, I don't understand all this science crap. What's
the
happening?
The time travel idea was like burning in his head, but he knew he couldn't figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he was like dying. He couldn't keep it, under wraps. But yeah, I like that.
I remember that exchange with him and Rocket, and he's like, "Oh, you want to go to space? Huh? You're like a little puppy. You want to go to space, huh?" Oh my god, that's amazing. It's really great. All right, up next we have Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff.
Well, Wanda had that one moment, right? But other than that, I don't think she had much. Am I right to say that?
That one moment in the big battle, yeah.
Yeah, the one moment she had with Thanos, but other than that, she was really on the sidelines, right? I don't even remember her.
Was she?
Where the hell was she?
She was in the. She was gone with everyone else.
Everything from
She was decimated. She was decimated.
Oh wait, she was snapped. She was snapped away.
She was snapped.
Oh, I didn't mean to put her on the list, y'all. I'm sorry. I was trying to just keep the people that were. I'm not bad.
I honestly couldn't remember.
Right.
I can't either, and I can't right now.
Oh yeah, she was snapped.
Okay.
She was snapped.
Cool.
She would have been part of the assault. She would have.
Why would she care that Vision was? I mean,
well, Vision. Why would she care that Vision was gone?
Well, she was around when he killed Vision.
Yeah, she was alive for it.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't know.
No, was she snapped?
Yeah. Think about it like this. When the first assault on Thanos, when they actually kill him, she would have been there for that. She was gone, guys. She was definitely snapped.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing her death.
Nah, Morg, I'm with you. I think she just wasn't around him because she was pissed off. I don't remember her.
Because she was pissed off.
She's having a hard time, man.
Like she was
having a hard go.
Because, like, her guy didn't get snapped. He got crushed, head
crushed. He was killed.
Yeah.
He wasn't
probably snapped. Like, looking at him, looking at the electric can opener, wondering why neither worked. Like, she's going through it.
Terrible.
He got unstoned.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe.
De-stoned.
Wasn't it just like the
pole? Ripped right on out.
Oh,
he got unstoned.
Yeah,
De-stoned.
Yes.
De-stoned.
Okay, so she had a big moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Up next.
My man Rabbit.
Man.
Who said that to him? Who said Rabbit? Who called
Thor
him
calls him Rabbit.
And then Tony calls him Ratchet.
Yeah.
Or Ratchet and Clank.
That's his first appearance in Hulk 271.
Yes, he called him a Build-A-Bear first, and then he called him Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank later on. And his response to that was even funnier. He was like, "You're only the smartest guy down here. Like you're only like an Earth genius. Chill out."
Right. Wait, y'all. Morg, I know you're a little younger. Build-A-Bear, like that's some deep shit. Like, I think that's like in the late '80s or this thing. I don't know.
But it stuck around for a while.
Oh,
what is it?
You could go to Build-A-Bear and
right now. Yeah, they're still around.
That's the thing.
So what was it? He had tools on his belt. Like, what did he do? Like,
no, you built your bear. It was customizable bears.
Customize your bear. You build your bear.
Yeah. And you come with backstories and birth certificates and everything.
It was like, you know how with the Cabbage Patch doll, you got an adoption certificate? Which is
so weird.
Oh, wow.
Because they're supposed to be being born in a
Cabbage Patch, right?
Like, okay. Man, they weren't teaching kids weird shit at all.
Yo, who sat in a boardroom and said, "Yo, let's just born kids in a Cabbage Patch"? You're all right, Harry.
Just put a piece of cabbage
Somebody
on top
was
of it.
That was the 60th idea, and they were tired. They're like, "Look, we're going home. Next idea wins."
And it hit.
Just run with the Cabbage Patch thing, guys.
Anyway, Rabbit. Great guy.
Amazing. I always have to try to remember that this. What's the actor's name?
Bradley Cooper.
This is Brad Cooper.
Bradley.
I have to keep reminding myself this is Brad Cooper. He's killing it. He's killing Rocket.
Yeah, he did a lot in the movie. He had some stuff to do in the movie, right?
He had that touching moment with Nebula.
That was very sweet.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was tough.
Look, because Natalie Portman wouldn't come back, that's why they had to show off screen him getting the ether out of her. That was like not her.
They said that was I forgot.
Because it was just for that scene. Everybody came out for little more itty bitty scenes. She has an issue with Thor. She doesn't like how.
She was a little disgruntled with Marvel over Patty Jenkins not keeping the job.
That's what it was.
World.
That's what it was. Yes.
But,
yes.
The director. She found her success with Wonder Woman. So,
Yeah, she was. But they said she did show up to the red carpet.
She showed up at the premiere. But I don't think that scene that was her.
Yeah, they showed us leftover footage. Some of that was leftover footage. Yeah. Yep.
I just want to mention that I watched. I don't remember what clip I was watching, but Bradley Cooper was saying he has an unfair advantage with filming these because he's just voicing over, right? Mm-hmm. But he gets to say whatever he wants, and nobody knows what they don't know what to respond with. They've already said their line, so he gets to say whatever he wants. So like that line where he's like, right. "Do you want to go to space?" Like Paul Rudd had no idea that that's what he said. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he can respond.
So they just kind of sit there and wait their mark, but they don't know what he said.
Exactly.
That's
my
dope.
favorite little tidbit to learn last week was like, damn, that's hilarious.
That is super hilarious.
He just gets to do what he wants.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know he's stroking his hair because they didn't do the mocap in the pre-visit at all. Anyway,
right.
Like they're just holding the tennis ball. Like, I saw them. One time they had like little garden gnome sized raccoon, and they just moved it to a table and they moved it. Like they would do that shit. Hilarious. I love it.
You remember that's James Gunn's brother that does the mocap for Rocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Morg, you've seen him. He's in Guardians. He's like the second main Ravager. Always like this.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's James Gunn's brother. Yeah, yep.
Okay. All right, Natasha.
Oh man. I didn't think that her being traded for the Soul Stone was going to hit me the way it did. When they were fighting over who was going to sacrifice himself, I was like, I think
that was dope. But I don't know, y'all. Look, this is my thing with Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Her next movie, if they do a movie for her,
no, it's not if. It's not if. It is a prequel.
Okay,
it's
so
confirmed.
it's going down.
Yeah,
it has to be a prequel because
Definitely.
there's that much mystery and we want to know so much about this. Before she even becomes like a superhero, we want to see her as an agent. We've seen movies like that, Natasha and Assassin and all that.
There's been a billion of those movies. That's the issue I'm going to have with this. We have Hannah. We have Assault.
Right.
We have so many versions of this movie that's already
What was that
existed.
new one with the newest one? That home.
Yeah. Whatever. She's a model. Yeah.
So look. So they're going to do quality. They have to do a prequel because that's the big chunk of her story.
Right.
There should be. So there really wasn't. I'm not going to say there wasn't any future for her. But they probably thought about this, thinking that her next couple of cinematic experiences probably are prequels. Mm-hmm. So we can kill her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's tons of stuff we can talk about once they bring in the X-Men and Wolverine.
Which is hold on, pump your brakes. That's 5 years down the line.
I know that. But what I'm saying is, because we know it's 5 years down the line. But at the same time, her character, Black Widow, Captain America, and Wolverine have shared history. So there's room to see everyone in prequels.
And I agree with you, but I bet you this. One, you're not going to see Chris Evans play Captain America again.
You will. I will bet money. Let's document it.
I want to take a long time bet with you on that.
Let's document it. They're definitely going to bring him back because they've already created the space for him by having him missing.
Yes. All right, look,
having him live through Endgame. The way he did, they've already created the space for him for another movie.
But he's still like 100-something years old. He's not like Super Soldier, 100 years old Cap with the gray hair.
I'm saying the time he was missing. That's the movie.
Okay, so look, all right.
That would be an alternate universe.
Let me finish. So, yes, I think strongly they're going to have Wolverine back in the past. Now you'll get a splash of him. Now, the main thing is with Cap in the six-pack. I don't think you got to be Chris Evans playing that Cap, but I do think they will take from that story because it's right there for the taking. You just make Wolverine, you don't even have him do his claws and all that shit. Just have him pop up there, and then you can come forward. Mm-hmm. that's I just think that's strong.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't want to have to yell at you, Castro. You don't like Thor?
So listen, yo.
He hasn't seen it, so he doesn't know what to like.
I love Ragnarok, right? And I was actually talking to Zilla, and I was like, "There's a big chunk of Thor missing for us because we didn't watch those first two. So that fish out of water, we don't know that from him. And that redemptive story in the second one, we don't know that at all. We know Thor from Ragnarok and Avengers and shit like that. So Thor got to a point where, like Captain Marvel, I felt like I was running out of time, and the next movie was coming. So I just kind of skipped the first one because I kind of know Thor like backhand. And my thing with Thor is I'm not a fan of that mythology. Like I like Greek mythology. So like Norse is like, what? What is that word? Niveladair? I'm not interested.
What is that word?
Okay, well then, okay. Sorry that I leaned in on that. We'll jump in really. That's helpful. That's helpful. I mean, first two movies of Thor is no match to Ragnarok Thor.
No.
So
right. So I set that up by watching that first.
I don't really feel like you're missing anything.
Right. Like I don't think.
Damn you, Michael.
Honestly, I mean,
thank you.
There's parts I like. But I really don't feel like if you feel like you got to make it up.
The first one, yes.
The first one is
the second
better than the second one. The second one, it's rough.
But Ragnarok, boy,
I'll take.
Man,
I'll take. It's got lots of Kirby.
Taika
Waititi and his killing it.
Yeah,
and Mary.
Okay, so let's
they
really quickly.
Back the ball.
Okay.
Really quickly, Thor in this movie, this Thor.
Oh my god!
Not the Thor we've ever seen before.
This Thor was amazing.
Thor.
He looked like melted ice cream.
He said you look like melted ice cream.
So Morg,
yeah.
Did you let out a yelp when he let the thunder plait his beard?
Fam? I said how? It was like a quick change in a Broadway show. What just happened?
And look,
what is
the thunder didn't take away his belly. He just got his airplane. He still had that belly.
He still had his belly. I thought the lightning would take his belly away, and it didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah,
I like that they kept it.
He's thick Thor now.
He's thick Thor.
Yeah.
2 C's.
2 C's.
And he was a blubbering mess, and I get it. When he was with his mom, he was
man.
Oh, that was hard. I almost dropped a tear there. That was rough. That was rough.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
What's her name? Renee Russo? No. Shit. Sorry.
I have no idea.
That's not Renee Russo.
I don't think that's her, but.
No.
She's like a famous actress. Chick.
Yes.
Not chick.
Just seeing where Thor landed in his life, in Norway. He's got Korg and Meek as his flatmates.
So you don't really say that name in here?
He's like, Thor, that kid's calling me a dickhead again.
No, but even better, like he's on the kid from the TV.
Right.
He's calling me a dickhead again. I loved this though.
Did it? Yeah, but it got that bad. Not that quick because it was 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Remember how he walked out of Thanos's retirement home? So we watched it the second time. I watched his body language when he walked down those. He was done. He was done. So it was just downhill from that moment forward. And they were like, "What do you like? What do you mean? What do you mean? He's dead. We're done. We're over. All right, everybody go home." He was done. Yeah. So
they were like, killing him so fast.
Renee Russo. Sorry.
Nailed it.
But killing him so fast, they thought we could have maybe done nothing. In his mind, he's like, we messed up. We missed it. Whatever we could, we missed it.
Right.
So,
He said the stones were right. He said the stones were gone. What are we still talking to this guy for? Yeah. It's over. Let's get out of here. It was all right.
I mean, that's what it looks like when you don't treat emotional trauma. That shit's real.
Right. Right.
So and over a span of 5 years, he looks like that. Yes, he's self-medicating. Yes, he's staying away from everybody that he doesn't want to have to face. And he can always be with those two aliens that don't give a shit.
Right.
Those are real friends of it. You know what I mean? That's yes.
Yeah.
Made all the sense in the world to me.
When he was telling the story about the ether to them in the room. Everyone's looking around like we got to reel him in. He's
oh wait, because he started talking off the
right? Yeah, he's like, no, not done.
We were dating, and then we weren't dating.
And we were on a break.
And then but then we weren't even dating at this time. But then
he was like, it's not a stone, it's a sludge. You were wrong, so don't refer to it as that again. I was like, okay, you're focusing on all the wrong things at this moment.
All right, Captain America.
Fucking Cap,
yo. Rogers himself. America's ass.
America's ass.
And gents. That is America's ass.
That is America's
Cap had I would say, just bottom line, Cap had a great movie.
Yeah.
He had a great movie. He wasn't, like we said, he wasn't in Infinity War that much. He's been on the run since Civil War.
Right.
So he's been pretty scarce. So to see him in what I know will be his finale, I couldn't have been more proud of that performance by Chris Evans and how they represented Cap and how they, how they finished everything out with Cap. That was really that. I didn't get emotional with Cap, but I really felt a sense of closure. So maybe that's why I'm there with that.
Yeah,
I felt a nice sense of closure.
It felt good.
It felt right. Like, cause look, as much as we wanted him, he's a great character. He pushes the movies in such a great direction, and the actor does great. He had no fucking life. He got here. He started following orders. He started going on missions. Started writing little things down in a notepad, trying to catch up. And he's been displaced from time. He's been displaced from time this whole time. Like, when I saw the end, I was like, yeah, he really didn't have a life, like at all. Like, he wanted to live. So I was good with that.
Yeah, they did a lot of fan service through Cap's experience in this film, and it was excellent. From the elevator scene to him fighting himself and saying, "I can do this all day," and then even him just cursing.
The elevator scene, we yelped out, not this. Him being smart and saying "Hail Hydra," I was like, "You, like I love that."
Oh my god,
love
that scene was
and look,
that was gold.
All right, well, look, when you hook the hammer of Thor Mjolnir to your shield and throw it to make it come back to you. I don't know what's better than that. Does anybody know?
No.
Okay, so can
now,
I
mind you.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that moment, Morg, it was like kind of quiet. Everybody was all tense when he was fighting Thanos, and I stood up. Fuck him up, cat! Everybody started hooting and hollering because it was dead silent. I said, "Fuck him up, cat!"
How did it? Go ahead.
So I not a comic book or reader. So that threw me for every loop when he was just, "Oh, you have it now." Wait, how do you have it now?
So
go ahead, Kasha. Are you going to Ultron?
Okay.
Is that where you're going?
Well, all right. So the hint of it is Ultron. You see him kind of budget when they're having that party more.
And Thor's face.
Yes, I will never forget.
Thor's look of horror.
So the main thing about the main thing about the hammer, and I didn't even see the first one, but I know extensively about being worthy.
Right.
And only the honorable can wield the hammer, and there's nobody really more honorable than Cap.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
So that I buy.
So,
okay.
So then here's the other fan service because they didn't really even need to explain it. Cap has wielded Thor's hammer like 3 times. 3 times in the books. And one time is in like this, galactic one time is in Infinity War. He grabs it and Thanos snatches it from him, and that's how he breaks the shield. He uses Thor's hammer to crack Cap's shield in the comic. And to see Cap be double-fisted with these great weapons, because the other thing about this movie is he gets back his shield.
Right.
Remember, he's been dealing with like the dirty shield, the Wakandan shield, doing all types of other shit, but like to get back the original shield, and he has both these weapons more. He didn't even need to fight Thanos. He could have stood right there, and they could have just backlit that whole scene and and he just we would just love that shit. They could have froze the whole movie and could just pause it. But it was something that we all knew as comic book fans and would love to see, but never expected ever to see. The budget of it was fun enough.
Just like, what?
Yeah. Now here's one thing. remember
using the lightning threw me off though, because I don't think you should have been able to do that.
Right. So here's the thing.
Now that's the hammer using him.
So that's what I thought, but is that's the answer? I was like, well, it must not be him.
I'd go with that answer.
Yeah. Okay. But remember in Civil War, no, I'm sorry, in Infinity War, when Thor was on the was with the Guardians, and he was saying that they need to go to Neverland to make Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
And Quill was like, "Well, don't we all need one of these God-killing weapons?" And Thor was like, "No, your body would not be able to stand holding it. Like you just couldn't." So now it's like, okay, well, Cap is also human, so why does he get to hold it? So now I'm starting to think, was that just
a shot at Peter?
Just him? Yeah, it's just Thor. Yeah.
And also, but wait,
yeah,
no. There's a little more to it. Because,
okay,
we kind of glance over it. The super soldier serum is like heavy. Like it did a lot because there's so many derivatives of it that also change other people more in the comics. So like the main one did Cap, but then there's other versions that did all these other people and empowered them and shit. Yeah. So the super soldier serum really puts you up there and able to be strong, and like it's like that's why I love Cap. The way they showed his strength, you never really saw him just knocking somebody out per se, just for GP's sake, but you saw him pulling a helicopter. He literally was pulling a helicopter back to the air pad and shit like that. And so the super soldier serum is a lot more powerful than sometimes we give it credit for. But I think it was more so, y'all, the worthiness of Steve Rogers able to wield the hammer, and that moment that the hammer was needed in such dire straits.
Yeah.
And it was also displaced out of time, so whatever.
So he took it back.
But I think that was, but I think that was more of it than, Cap being like an Asgardian level type Cap. Yeah.
All right. So
I loved that though. That was super dope. And the scene where they switch and Thor's like, "No, you can have this back. You can have the little one.
You can have the little one."
Yo, their battleground banter is some of the best I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
when Cap and Thor,
Infinity War
on the battlefield, it's great. Yeah,
he's like, "I see you've copied my beard."
He said, and you copied my hair. And he said, "Meet my friend Tree and what do you call him, Squirrel? Was he calling him Squirrel last week? What was he calling him? Rabbit." He's like, "Meet my friends Tree and Rabbit." And he said, "I am Groot." He said, "I am Steve Rogers." He like almost bowed in the middle of a battle,
Oh my God. Okay, let's get to Iron Man.
Oh man,
I'm not ready for this.
I was looking forward to him dying in Infinity War because we knew we had to lose someone. I didn't know who was going to die because they didn't kill him in Infinity War. I wasn't sure if he was going to die in Endgame, despite all the conversations about contracts and all of that stuff. But Tony was amazing. Tony was amazing in this film, absolutely. I think he brought a lot of realism to the decimation with the way he handled it when he got back. Mm-hmm. And that conversation with Cap and everyone else was like, nah, you did not fulfill your promise. You talk all this big shit, and we lost. Like, we super lost. Like, the way he reacted when Cap was like, when you fought him, he was like, no, there was no fight.
Right.
He threw a planet at me. He threw a moon at me. There's no fight. Why are we talking about this? Like
that.
Yeah.
let's think about scope when we're talking about fight, Cap. He threw a planet at me. Like, damn.
Yes, I mean, and then losing him the way we did, like, it was just perfect. I put it up there with Cap's retirement. It was perfect. They did it right.
You loved it.
I loved it.
It was poetic because Thanos said, "I am inevitable," and obviously the gems weren't in his fist because it's Cap. It's Iron Man's armor, dummy. Like, as soon as he grabbed him, I was like, "It's Iron Man's armor." Like, I knew something was going to happen. It was like, it's his armor. What are you talking about?
Right.
And when he snapped, I really wanted to say, "Are you dumb? Like, Iron Man's armor. Are you dumb?
Are you dumb?
Like, what's wrong with you?" But him saying, "I am Iron Man,"
oh my God,
snapping, and then he didn't die right then. Remember, he kind of faded away, but he didn't say any. He didn't say any other words. He couldn't utter anything. So literally, his last words were, I am Iron Man. He didn't say, I love you, Pepper, or anything like that. He couldn't get anything else out.
Right.
He was acting with his eyes, which I love. So he was saying stuff with his eyes to a couple of people right at the end. But, that was amazing. I was bawling my fucking eyes out, y'all.
Yeah, his reunion with Peter on the battlefield was a hard one.
Yeah, that was tough.
My eyes got a little sweaty.
Got the real hug.
Oh, this is
real
nice.
hug.
This is nice.
This is nice.
But he's also like, Mr. Stark, why are we hugging right now? There's a lot going on.
It's like, I was just there, and we woke up, and you weren't there anymore. So
Dr.
Strange
said,
started opening up all these holes in the universe.
He said you needed us.
So now we came. What do you want us to do, Mr. Stark? Oh, man.
Too funny.
Man.
So you guys all feel they paid tribute?
Yeah. I think it's amazing that the trajectory of Iron Man is taking what, for me, historically is borderline D or E-list Marvel character.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
Like, no, he's not exaggerating.
Yes.
Seriously.
No, we're not even like
the biggest part
lowballing
of
him,
Iron Man's popularity for me growing up, and I think this would be the 80s, Castro, correct me if I'm wrong, is when Tony was drinking.
Yep.
And that was a big deal with the Bob Layton books. I can't
Yes.
remember, was it
So that
Mantlo
was like-
writing? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But largely,
there
Iron
a
Man
big
was
theme.
just, comfort food, part of Avengers. He didn't have this personality. He didn't have any of this stuff that we have seen in the films.
Oh, like Michael, remember? So this would happen. They started like making Iron Man cartoons to jazz up interest for him. So they were like these cartoons with the computer animation background. Y'all remember that?
Yep.
And Mandarin was like this main villain and stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh.
And I remember the drunk arc. Yeah, Michael, I remember the drunk arc. Morgan, he was wearing his Iron Man armor underneath like a white shirt and brown pants because he was just drunk. So he had his it was ridiculous.
And they gave us some of that in Iron Man too. Yeah.
Yeah. They gave us
And
a
then
little hint of that.
also, Michael, I remember the Armor Wars, and Morg pretty much he started realizing that everybody was using Stark tech to make these mechanical suits. The villains are using.
Yes.
So he literally went on a rampage to destroy the suits, whether you were in them or not. And he went kind of mad. He was like blowing up people, just blasting them. But I'm with Michael. Nobody really cared about Iron Man.
No.
And for them to start with him was always like
Huge gamble.
a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. But it's about the actor taking that role and making something of it that folks liked and got him into the theater. And bless him, he'll be missed. But I think we have enough folks to pick up his torch.
Oh, definitely.
I think so too. I think that whole arc, that the fact that they're doing it in these phases this way, I think is really smart to not overstay your welcome. Like if Tony really aged out and was super thin like he was in the
oh my god,
who wants to see that?
Right. Right.
No.
I think that's a really smart move.
Yeah. So last but certainly not least, Thanos.
Oh.
My goodness.
You are about to die by the hands of the children of Thanos.
Oh, one of the best
You
villains.
should all feel worthy. Your life meant something.
Thank you.
But all right, so here's the thing with Thanos. I love him as a character. I think Josh did a great thing.
Yeah, he did.
But really, Infinity War is about Thanos.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie is definitely not.
Yeah.
Literally, Infinity War is like the Thanos autobiography and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think Thanos, there was a lot of blueprint painted for us in Infinity War. And as far as Endgame, it's more of an epilogue for him.
Yeah.
Like, they kill him relatively quickly. So even when they bring back the Thanos in the past, I'm still just dealing with that same character. There's not any new motivations. He just got, up to speed. He read the Cliff Notes.
Right.
He read the Cliff Notes. Yeah.
He read the Cliff Notes, and he got up to speed. So this is even a different Thanos. Remember, he was going to decimate everything. So this is not even the one that we fell in love with from Infinity War, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think I took this Thanos as more of the epilogue to the greatness of Brolin's Infinity War portrayal.
I love how they gave us a straight understanding of how battle ready and how great of a fighter he is in this one. He was kicking everybody's ass. Like, he was taking it to them on that battlefield. And I was like, Cap is giving this guy work right up until the point that Thanos punched his head into the planet. And was like, oh, okay, and now Cap's taking a nap.
You gotta take a nap.
You gotta take a you gotta take a nap when you get
But wait, don't forget the headbutt moment, which I thought was crucial. When he tried, because he headbutt Tony, or he headbutt somebody.
He headbutted Captain Marvel.
Yeah, the second time.
No, I mean, and no, but from the last movie, did he headbutt somebody?
He did headbutt somebody.
And so when he headbutted this time, and Captain Marvel, Carol just looked at him like, "No, I'm a little bit more powerful than that." And remember, he's not powered up in this movie.
Right.
So I think that's why this one is a little different. He's just like Anna said, he's just battle tested. He's just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even let his Black Order fight, right?
They fought.
You got a little of him
in the big battle, yeah.
At the end,
yeah.
Do y'all think that I felt like the finished animation on Thanos looked better
in this one?
Really better in terms of like head turns, lighting. I didn't feel like I was getting this velvety kind of. He looked more velvety in Infinity War, but I think that was part of the overall color grading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a little darker.
But somehow it looked even better.
Yeah,
this time
I agree.
Definitely, it was brighter, lighter, something.
Yeah, It felt more natural. It seemed natural.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
They literally been working on Thanos' look like every movie.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just
Avengers. It changed from.
I mean, they changed the actors. When
Mm-hmm.
they changed the actors, and then it seems like they've always been trying to enhance it and get it better and better. And then, like, all right, so then we have a thing about Professor Hulk, but look at the byproduct of that. Working on Thanos probably led them to having such good success with Ruffalo's face stretched out in green.
Yeah,
with the salt and pepper on the side like that. I didn't have so much disbelief with him, Mike. I was just with it. Now again, he wasn't in action scenes and stuff, but it just seemed like, but also like there's some precedent. Like Juggernaut worked out really well in Deadpool. So just seeing bigger characters that they have, Colossus, that they have to make a little stand out just because they're, they have a certain size to it. I think they're doing a lot better.
Well, here's the other thing that because you're saying these things that I'm remembering is that largely Thanos gets to have lighting that includes shadows, but most of the time that we see the Hulk or Professor Hulk, the lighting is a lot brighter, and it's tending to flatten things out, whereas we get the more sculptural appearance of the lighting with Thanos.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, so let's jump into the backstory. I know there were some theories leading into the film about time travel. And so the first thing that popped in my head was it would be really, really cool for them to end, this storyline with us revisiting some of the previous films. I didn't envision it playing out like this, though. We didn't know what films. We did know the first Avengers film because we saw footage of that. We saw some photos. But I didn't expect to see Thor. I didn't expect to see that, him seeing his mom again. That was really cool.
They were able to keep Thor away. That Thor, away from us altogether before seeing the movie.
True. Yes.
They completely kept
that version of Thor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You're right.
The big Lebowski. I mean, they kept the big Lebowski Thor. They kept.
I kept saying to Am, really the dude? Like really, the dude. I need an explanation.
And they kept
half gloves all the time. The fingerless gloves.
And they kept the Hulk away from us too. So they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of hiding stuff right in front of us.
Sorry about that.
No.
I distracted.
So talking about the backstory. Of course, Infinity War would be the obvious, precursor to this. That could sum up the whole backstory. But the entire MCU leading up to this point, even starting with Ed Norton's Hulk, going back that far, the first Iron Man film, The Forgotten Hulk. I love that.
Well, it justifies why, Iron Man started this whole thing. It finished, this arc finished with him.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just going back in time, stuff that's important, whether it's Cap time, seeing Howard Stark and all of that, or I think the backstory more so is just being in awe of the culmination of these films and how well they were all done to lead us to this point. I know there's been so many people that have nitpicked and really picked this movie apart, especially with the time travel elements and returning the stones at the end. But I suspended all belief, and I was just along for the ride because I owed it to them for doing this much good work that I didn't need to really like go in there trying to tear anything apart.
Right. Man. You nailed it.
Some minds just don't work that way.
We want to jump into the overt themes?
Depression. I'm sad after everybody got snapped away.
Man.
I'm real sad that I wasn't able to fix it.
Right.
And then a rat happened.
Yes.
And then a van shows up. And then we have an awkward conversation about time travel, and it becomes, let's do a time heist.
Yes.
Let's do a time heist. Really quickly, I do want to mention that. What did I say when we noticed that the quantum realm machine thing was in the back of the van, and then we see he's outside, and this is before the movie comes out. I was like, Scott just pulls up with the quantum realm in his car? Like, that's just how he shows up somewhere?
When Morgan said that, we were watching one of the trailers, and she said that, and it was just like, oh my. It was just one of those moments where it just hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, oh, okay.
Like, yeah,
so doi.
It all hinges on
it's all time travel. They've already told us already. Just him showing up with
I was totally against the time travel altogether. I did not want time travel. But the thing about the van is I just assumed he used whatever trick he used before to get out the quantum realm so nobody was there and started driving the van around. I just did that in my head.
Okay.
But like at first I was against the quantum realm because, well, I liked how they ended up doing it, but I thought they were going to do like the time stone and just swivel back. I like that there was 5 years of displacement for the decimated and the ones that were here. That's going to be a nice plot point moving forward.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. I heard Far From Home is now officially after the decimation. That's what I heard.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Final film.
So, but then it's like,
and that's why there's.
So did kids go to school during that 5 years, or was there no school? And then when everybody came back, they started school again.
No, I feel like they went back to school.
But all of those kids, Peter's going back to high school. If it's 5 years later. He shouldn't.
A lot of them kids would have graduated.
Right. So then that means every single person in his school was snapped?
Well, I think
50%.
50%. So
the
he's
ones
so
that
half.
matter that we know.
So right. So half this
exactly.
Matter.
It mean a whole school.
All
it doesn't mean like right down the middle of this.
Because all his homies are the same.
Right. MJ, Flash, Ned. They all got snapped.
They're going on a class trip. So that means they're not in college.
Right.
Like this isn't their freshman year, or
Yeah.
So see, Castro, that's why there are some questions. Some things are questions.
Yeah. I know. But again, that's what I was saying. Like, we can suspend most because they've earned it. You know, they've been so thorough. They've earned it.
I mean, the Guardians got snapped in a very lopsided way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
There was actually only one of them left because Nebula didn't count as a Guardian.
Right.
So there's literally only one Guardian left. You know, she's official now, and she's not official now because she's running around with her past sister.
Yeah.
They're flying around. Yeah.
See how they're gonna work out.
Oh, so here's my thing. Because of all of these little time wrinkles and past future selves, do you think the Guardian script will now be different considering there's a past Gamora, or was that already known to James Gunn when he wrote it?
I think the Guardian script is going to be different just because Thor's involved, and you know that there's compensation that they have to make for bringing in that character, and after Taika Waititi has done what he's done with him, you know, to include that version of Thor.
No, but was that written already? Because you know that script is done. Was that written already, knowing that this would happen?
I would imagine.
Sure.
I want to imagine
Yes.
so that this was all part of the plan. So how they probably knew going into Infinity War, out of Black Panther, into Endgame, where we land with wherever they're going to land with Black Panther 2. Yes. I feel like they would know all those trajectories.
Yeah.
With,
a little before
with Guardians,
because they made a point.
Well.
I mean, they made a point to tell us. Also, they made a point to tell us
are you
where
with the writing when you don't know if a movie's going to be successful or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like Captain Marvel's minimal exposure in this movie was a fail-safe in case the Captain Marvel movie didn't do well.
I did see a video on that. I think
it would have been weird if she was in this movie more than she was.
Yeah,
but would it have been weirder if her movie was a flop and she was in this movie a lot?
Sure.
I don't know. They haven't had a flop yet.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's weird.
It's got to come. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
You know what's happened? Oh, not in the movies. You're right. Yeah, TV show, sure.
It's got to happen, but you have to also think
Dr.
about it.
Dr. Strange say what?
Go into.
No, I like Dr. Strange. I like Dr. Strange.
Yes.
I like Dr. Strange, but that would be the one. But go ahead,
there's something to be said about I don't think that Marvel's planning any of these movies with the mindset of, if this flops, this won't work anymore. Mm-hmm. Like we started talking about earlier, the more you flesh this stuff out, you don't have to have a whole script written for what Black Panther 2 is going to be to know that you've got a rough outline and a guideline that you're following.
Right, and you need this character will be at this point.
Exactly.
Here. Yeah,
so
like that. Okay.
If you end up saying, we're pulling back and there won't be a Spider-Man 4, then they can pull it back. But that doesn't mean that they have that doesn't mean there's a full script written for that.
Right.
That doesn't mean that they have everything in place to do it. But once you have,
but now with the new phase, are we abandoning a lot of these storylines? Like, will they not even touch on this stuff?
Well, I think my understanding is the next phase is going to be far more standalone than connected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, that they're not looking to do the same thing they just did with new characters. They're going a different way of not being, a meetup at the end.
Like I said, world building. If you create other things that independent of themselves, now you're expanding. So we got this planet over here and these people doing this over here. So they might not run into each other, but like when Guardians popped up, it made you think, okay, now we're in a galactical Marvel universe rather than just Earth. And then when you got with Ego, that's what made me really think. Ooh, that's why I thought this Thanos fucking with the 50% of population everywhere would bring in a Galactus or Eternity or something. Somebody stepping in like, hold on. And then that helps with scope too. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, exactly, Michael. That's what helped with scope. But they showed the Celestial movie. Just scope. When you want to step up, you always got to show scope. So there's more planets of influence out there. There's more beings of power out there. Captain Marvel. Like, they have to make beings even more powerful than her now.
Right.
Like, they can't just flash Dormammu and then go away from him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They did a good job using all of these little, I don't mean to say little, but they did a good job using the individual franchises to give us a view of the entire universe and widen it and expand it for them to break everybody away in this new phase coming up. Even looking at the Spider-Man situation. So Spider-Man technically still belongs to Sony. Sony is doing a very good job developing all of these Spider-Man characters that are anti-heroes. And there has been a conversation about Marvel, Peter Parker, Tom Holland Spider-Man possibly popping up in some of those because they exist in the exact same universe. And again, Sony still has the rights to Tom Holland Spider-Man.
What, Venom?
So, no. So listen, not just Venom. We have Venom. They're talking about a possible Carnage film. Morbius Living Vampire is in the works.
Yeah, that's
Silver Sable.
Yeah,
there's Silver Sable. There's tons.
No, they got rid of that Black and they're not doing that. Black and Silver shit. They scrapped.
I thought they went to solo for her. Well, anyway, but they're developing a bunch of
Silver Sable's a weak, watered down character. She's weak. You better go Black Cat. There's nothing to
I could
Silver
definitely
Sable.
see that.
I'm sorry.
But they're developing a lot of these characters that all revolve around Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is another opportunity again, as far as branching out. They teased it a little bit in the other Spider-Man film where they gave us Rhino.
Garfield.
Right.
Oh, with all the uniforms in the room.
Yeah, instead of the whole Sinister Six thing. So, I think taking that angle in this
Let me ask
next
y'all.
phase
I want to ask
awesome.
a question to the field.
Mm-hmm.
What about some brand spanking new originality? Do you think our universe has space for that? So for like a character that's created for, it's only in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like they do with like anime stuff, like people that are independent of it. Then they'll put them in the comic and then they'll make them look.
Wasn't
like, what
Phil
about that?
Coulson? Wasn't that
yeah,
Phil
but not
Coulson?
like Michael Moore. Some like an actual, like to me, like let me give you an example. Like when Hyperion popped up in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that happened in the Marvel Universe. Now, he doesn't have to be so powerful, but like, it's just a byproduct of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Do you think we've done enough inroads to do just that?
I think
somebody we haven't plucked them.
I think it's too early. I don't think they would gamble that.
Meaning that they would create an entirely new superhero and all of that stuff.
MCU? Yeah.
Yeah, just for that. Yeah.
I think if you put that in front of the calculator people, I don't think that calculates out. I could see introducing, the lowest list of characters of the MCU and doing something surprising and interesting with it in lots of different ways, but they're probably going to stick to their own IP, their own intellectual property for sure.
Okay.
They've shown it can.
I know it's one big
something's
machine.
already making money because, like you mentioned, there was already investment in X-Men cartoons, in Iron Man cartoons, leading to Avengers cartoons. Even now, so they're looking at what we've put these in front of people, what attracted them, or what's selling in the comic books.
Well, Michael, here's my question. They're making a Shang-Chi movie.
Right.
Why? So are they just mining? Let's see how many minor characters we can blow up into.
I think that's a diversity angle they're going after.
I would agree. That's diversity. That's building. That's more universe building.
Yeah.
That's more building like that. Yeah. But I don't honestly think that they would. I feel like a brand new superhero in the MCU is not really something I would anticipate seeing. It would be great. I'd love it. I would be excited.
Would they do it like Star Wars does, like make a toy out of it, like this new, what I'm saying, get you a such and such or whatever, or would it be like a contest? We put your character in a movie.
Oh, then at that point we're talking like Batman and Robin, Burger King. We don't need to do that.
Yeah,
that's going down a bad road.
I mean, you could legitimize the contest. You could have real artists get involved. Come on, you wouldn't. You don't think the contest would be fierce for a new superhero to be put into a Marvel movie?
Yeah, but then you got to pay someone off so that you're right. You got to pay someone off, and then let's say that superhero, if the superhero fails, no big deal. But if it blows up, did I get a percentage of that when I sold the character, or did I sell it outright, like the $100 check for Superman?
Man, Marvel has too many characters. And then with regaining, all the characters that Fox did, there's absolutely no reason to do that,
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to float that kite. Yeah, I was
it's
thinking,
work.
If you get powerful enough. Like all these other franchises, I mean, they're campy, yes, but like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they'll create things for the movie. And I think Marvel Cinematic Universe has enough cachet where it'll be a welcome creation. It won't be like some comic book Jar Jar Binks shit. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. It just needs to it just needs to be necessary. If it's a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, all right, but what if it's Rampage? Look how well that worked out. And I think that started off as some contest. And he really was a kid until he got powered up. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Rampage. I don't remember Rampage. He's black,
Rampage,
right?
He was on the New Warriors at first, and then became an Avengers.
Yes.
He's like a teenager, but he got powered up. So that thing, I know, but that truth be told, that's an 80s, 90s kind of trope. This kid who's like Shazam. That's the movie. They're already doing that. Like that, that's already taken. So okay, sorry, y'all. I was curious.
We were talking direction of the MCU. So
we handled depression. We're gonna reconciliation and redemption. So those three major themes throughout the movie, I think that sums it up kind of nicely.
Yeah, yeah.
How big was it for y'all, for Tony and Steve to get back together quick or fast or whatever, like, or slow? How big was that for y'all? Like, for the movie to work, did y'all need that to happen quicker? Y'all need it to happen right when it did, or?
I don't know. For me,
was that
I'm probably the person the only person in this conversation who's the least excited about Iron Man to begin with. I love Captain America, but their relationship is sort of has this inevitableness. That's key word from the movie.
Okay.
You know, they're going to do that, and I'm glad that they got to have their reconciliation, their trust moment. But it came at some fairly heavy costs.
Yeah.
We also seem to avoid. There's a lot of avoiding of Tony's ego, and I find that interesting. But
well, all right. Let me tell you. So I didn't like Iron Man 3 at all. Zilla loved it, so he keeps explaining it to me in new ways that I didn't bother to see.
They can keep explaining it to me too.
Now he went with the whole. There's a humanization of Tony in Iron Man 3 because he's very much out the suit. Even the fact that y'all don't know that kid that's at the funeral, that's the kid from Iron Man 3 growing up.
Yeah.
That was so to me. That's another attention to detail, fan service. How much was that? You had to pay him what, $100,000? I mean, probably not that, but of course. I'm just saying, like that's $75,000, right, to have him in one shot. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so like this Tony with the daughter. Like the mad Tony when he came back from the ship, that was some PTSD. He was just mad, y'all. Like I know he had made some poignant points, but he was very upset and malnutrition. When he was the daughter Tony, that was like the fairy tale Tony, but he's come a long way too.
Yeah.
So, Michael, I just say like the Tony we saw. All right, this is another thing I have to say about this stuff. Is this a movie that really you kind of need to be a little steeped in what's going on here? Can you see this blind and kind of be with it?
No.
Not really, right?
You could probably see this movie and have no frame of reference and it be a neat movie to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't understand the significance of everything else. You know, like you could catch the themes. You could figure that part out.
Right.
But you wouldn't know why so many of the things were so big a deal. Yeah. You know, and you wouldn't know what any of the fan service was. You would just think that's the movie, you know, like there's way more to be excited about, and that's how they make those movies. So it would be weird to me to go see this as a first time ever. Mm-hmm. But I think they could get through it and still think it's a good movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. What's next?
Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
For Tony or the Avengers?
I think for everybody. Mm-hmm. No?
Yeah. Redemption.
Everybody that makes it.
I'm sorry, I had to mute.
I'm sure that those that survived feel redeemed
like that energy,
by the success. They made it through, and then they had to power through one more horrible battle before.
Like, all right, like Mike, I'm trying to focus on the redemption of that first moment that tricked us with the trailer when they that was the vengeance, right, y'all? That was like red-eyed vengeance when they went to get Thanos that first time.
Okay.
And the disappointment of that unfulfillment. So after that vengeance moment, is the redemption a little deeper for y'all now because they had to actually come up with a plan and work back together? The teamwork, remember, Avengers haven't been a team for about 3-4 years since Arnim Zola. And Baron Zemo. Since Baron Zemo's brilliant plan. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. You know? They haven't been the Avengers. And this was the first time. And this was still like a minimized team because of the snap.
Right.
So, I wasn't much a question, but yes, the redemptive arc to me hit even harder after that first section. It was to no avail. I was sitting there like...
It was unfulfilled for them.
Right.
Oh.
Well, and that's where the redemption comes in. Mm-hmm. The kind of turmoil that they all felt and dealt with on their own, Mm-hmm.
Natasha was a wreck.
That really fucked
Yeah,
Thor
she was
up.
a wreck.
Natasha was a wreck.
Natasha was a wreck.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was a mess.
Yeah.
Right. Go down the line.
Go down the list.
Maybe Rocket and them, but they were out in space. Like, Nebula didn't look happy.
No, they were both. And she was with Tony.
Right.
Like.
Going through that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like Nebula's looked a certain way since she realized Gamora was dead. True. I know she doesn't have much expression, but when she realized that Thanos came back without her, Nebula's been like totally, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I wanted to give her.
When we talked about her character earlier, just how well she plays that I'm really a robot. You know, like she's an android for the most part. And they give her so much emotion without... They're giving her
she's Johnny Five
now, but she's not. She doesn't display it, and that's huge.
Yeah,
I think
she's Johnny Five. She's Johnny Five.
I'm alive.
You know, but she's not Johnny Five actually because she doesn't have the emotion, and and I don't think she has a desire to get back her humanity, but it's like it's the tattoos and the scars that are always there. Like I'm looking at myself and I know I'm like, 30% human because of my father. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Can we jump into Easter eggs?
Easter eggs.
So many.
Easter eggs. Yeah,
or
a lot.
Cameo appearances too.
And cameo.
Okay.
All right, Castro, real quick.
Cameos. Yes.
I want to jump into. I want to get this one out the way because this Easter egg was given to me by a friend of the show, one-time guest, Caesar. He's a Leo. He's a Leo. He texted me this morning and was like, "You got to call me. Got this Easter egg." And then once Michael got here, we discussed it. It was something he caught wind of too. So when they were having the conversation with Nat, and everyone was on the holograms, and Okoye was talking.
I got it. That was going to be my first one. Okay. I got it.
And Okoye was talking about that disturbance that they were having.
Underwater earthquake.
Right. And I didn't catch it. Word. I didn't catch. Yes, it is. I didn't catch it when it happened. But Caesar was like, "Yeah, they just opened the door for Namor." And I was. And
now here's the thing,
like,
y'all.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Don't get. He's not going to be the mutant working with the X-Men. He's going to be straight villain Namor at first.
Of course,
that's the only way that works.
He has to be. Yes.
So he's going to bring another element. Like, all right, so now we have this aquatic nation. That's another nation. So if they go to war with Wakanda, which happened in the comics, y'all,
right?
It can be a legit this country versus that country, and we could tie it into modern day, foreign diplomacy and shit, because that's what it would be and stuff like that, right? So hell yeah. But I don't think they'll give him a movie. Now here's the thing. Let me ask y'all this: can y'all do a Namor without Fantastic Four?
Well, they have Fantastic Four, so they don't have to do them.
But they're gonna slow your roll.
Slow the roll because you gotta have a little time with the FF. You gotta have Namor meet Sue Storm.
No, Michael.
Is that what you mean?
Think about it. Namor is so much more than that Sue Storm shit. It's just what everybody's memory goes to him in Fantastic Four, but he actually has more time with mutants, X-Men, fucking with Black Panther. That was a big thing.
I don't like
Am I wrong?
being a mutant myself, but I don't. That's one of those retcons that just rankles me a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But, he's got. There's a lot of opportunity for some history with Namor that we haven't seen yet. I mean, there could be. Right. We could have stuff that happens during World War II after Cap has gone.
Very true. Very true.
We still know that there's an android Human Torch from the first Captain America.
That part, exactly. I love that. And they had Aquaman did. I don't know if anybody saw Aquaman. Did anybody see Aquaman?
I have not seen Aquaman. No.
I heard the water stuff was really well done because that's the bridge between Aquaman and Namor stuff. Right? That's really
James Wan.
Really
James Wan.
Because of the hair and stuff. But they said they did a really good job of showing us, and not Star Wars underwater, like a really underwater stuff. So if DC do it, Marvel's got to take a stab at it. So I'm looking at a totally submerged. Like when you do Namor, he wouldn't have his own movie, but he would be underwater most of the time at first. That type of thing until they invade. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that's one Easter egg. Yep.
What's another one you got?
Okay.
There's the actor at the storage unit.
Yes.
He's that actor. I can't remember. He's a comedian.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ken.
So community actors are always in
Russo
movies. It's community, and somebody else is in one. They have somebody else. I can't remember.
The woman that was in the elevator.
Yeah, the woman in the elevator.
Yes, she's also from
And also, here's another Easter egg. The director, one of the Russo brothers, was in the support group with Kat in the beginning. He's, and also, that was them, not just shamelessly, but putting in some LGBT plus community stuff, because he was mentioning he lost his husband, now he's dating again. With a man. It was subtle, but that was early in the movie, you know.
Dope.
You know, that was good to put in there.
Jim Starlin was in that group. Jim Starlin, creator of Thanos.
Yes, he was too.
Yes.
Creator of Thanos. Yep, that was dope. I know I watched a million of them.
I did too. It's so funny that
I thought they would do a black and white Vision with no emotion.
That would be
because
interesting.
that's definitely in the comic. And and then Michael, if they could get in Wonder Man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Emotion.
That would be really fun.
That's what I'm talking about.
With gas
Give me
now.
Wonder Man.
Get a Wonder Man in there. He could be Hollywood.
He was way more interesting than when you were mentioning how uninterested we were as comic book fans in Iron Man. The first thing that popped in my head was like someone like Wonder Man was even more interesting than Tony.
Wonder Man.
Yeah,
Wonder Man was amazing.
I don't know what it was. He was an actor. He had red eyes, and he was like an android human. We loved him. He was in this weird group, West Coast Avengers.
Yeah.
We loved him. He had this weird green outfit.
He started out as a villain way back when.
Yes, he was a villain
briefly,
first.
and then
like
they turned him around.
He was an android.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, I loved it. And he had to get powered up, and then he was like, "Is he Vision? He's like Vision's brother in a sense, right?" Like,
is he an android?
Right?
Is he human or is he an android? I don't even know.
Okay.
He's a little both because he has like particles, like so, but he's related to them somehow with him, Wanda, and Vision. Like,
there is some connection way back when.
Yeah, like a consciousness, or he got awakened back because he was around for Mechanical Human Torch too, right? I can take him back that far, right? Am I doing that?
I believe so.
No,
I believe so.
No, I'm not. Okay. He got popular West Coast Avengers, but he was around before then. That's what I'm saying.
Another Easter egg, Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Asgardians of the
Galaxy. He did say it. And that's the actual
book.
The comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the actual book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when the Armada, when Thanos' Armada is about to start, they're approaching. All the portals open up from Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Howard the Duck is one of the charging infantry with a gun.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck is in the fighting force. Oh, also they nobody noticed, but the Ravagers was part of that fighting force.
Right.
Too.
Were they? The Ravagers were there too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The Ravagers were there too.
It was a lot going on.
I don't know if Nova Corps is gone.
Novacor's gone.
Yeah, Thanos.
That planet's gone.
Sorry.
Going back to that scene, did you well up with emotion when that first portal opened and Black Panther and Shuri came through with Okoye?
Wait, no, first it was Falcon.
No,
and that
Falcon's voice.
Yeah, it was
Falcon's voice was like to your left.
Right.
And you know what that was called back to?
Yeah, to the jogging. Yeah.
The jogging when he kept lapping him.
You said to your left, but when the first portal opened, it was the Wakandans that came through.
Yes.
And that was just like,
and I saw Black Panther and Shuri stepped through. Oh man, I was loving it. I was like, he's back. And they gave him a good chunk of the battle too.
Yeah, they did.
He took the gauntlet. He was oh man.
Yeah.
When I saw Spider-Man swing through.
The first showing that we saw, the theater erupted when they walked through.
Yeah, it was It went crazy in there.
What about Spider-Man? What was the reaction to Spider-Man? Seeing him back.
They were excited. I mean, nothing was like the response to Black Panther.
No.
Right.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah. And then also
staying power. Staying power. That's important.
Yes. Spidey activating kill mode. Remember,
on
purpose he turned it on this time.
Stabbing everything around him. Love that.
Yeah,
love that.
That was great.
What about let's just jump to it. Morgan, I want to ask you as being the resident queen on our podcast tonight. Shout out Afro.
Shout out Afro.
What was the female team up moment? Was that cheesy? Was that earned? Was it just fulfilling? You just go with the moment. What was that for you?
Honestly,
all right, wait. Did you want the girls to see that? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Okay, be honest.
You know, that's not representative of what my girls need to see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Okay.
Okay. All here for the female.
But there was a splash.
Super dope.
It was a split splash.
Right. It was. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Valkyrie.
Indeed.
That's one of us.
Okoye,
okay.
Sure.
Don't give her back. That's one of ours.
Okay.
Slow down.
There is no question about that.
Right.
On the table.
None.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But anyway, 3 of however many. It doesn't matter. That's not the point of what any of my feelings are about that moment.
Sorry, Morgan. I'm sorry. You know me.
I do. I want to love that moment more than I loved that moment. And if they executed it maybe just a little bit differently, Michael and I talked about this, and he has a much better articulation of it than I do. If you wouldn't mind,
what I thought would be better for that, instead of, I mean, everybody wants that kind of scene. What I thought might be more interesting is 4 or 5 quick cuts where you have one character bail out another character, or you have 2 characters jump into different parts of the screen and do something, but then that each cut propels them forward, and then they gain another cast member. And then quickly between, you know,
like the fight with
less than a dozen shots, everybody comes together and then moves forward. You don't necessarily have to stop everything for everybody to pose and say, you know, whatever Okoye says. You know, the poster shots. That is, thank you so much.
Those,
I live for those, by the way, guys.
Those are the things that take. I feel like that's the thing that takes as much as the ridiculous lifetime investment that I have in comics. Those are the ones I find the most bothersome.
Really?
Because I feel like that I've had so much of that on a page that it feels silly on the screen. It feels disingenuous. It feels overly performative,
like that's why
overly constructed, like it's a puppet like it suddenly becomes a puppet show. But you've just spent all this time showing me how these are not puppets.
Yeah.
And
now Michael, let me ask you the scene in Age of Ultron in the beginning where they do the Jeep flip and everybody
shot there.
They have that little pause moment. Was that okay?
That was a little bit better, but it was still funky.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree with that too. I think that the more they do it, the less I'm inclined. Right. Yeah. And so even in that moment, it just felt force fed, and
Okay,
I'm not a huge fan of the
I'm glad you said force fed, because I wanted to ask how you guys felt about the setup for that shot, because the whole, you know, she's not alone was the callback to you know, Infinity War,
right?
So that setup for me, it was like, oh, okay, all right, and then when it was one more character and another character, I love that scene. It was just like it's about to go the fuck down.
I think if it were more like what Michael was saying, and Castro nailed it, like that scene in Infinity War, she has help. Like that was the moment without making it a Matilda pose. You know, there were no capes flapping and the wings. And, you know, like that they were really about to get down.
Oh man!
So that's all. Like, I'm here for
like
highlighting
Black
all
Panthers.
of the women. Go ahead.
Black Panther's female empowerment movements were way more organic.
Yes.
Like we realized that Black Panther was the third star of the movie. Fourth?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not even. I'm there. You know.
Yeah.
Angela looked good. No, real fifth. M'Baku.
Right.
M'Baku. Okoye. Shuri.
You
know, Lupita.
Yeah.
Nakia.
Yeah.
And you know, Killmonger.
Listen.
T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Challa's fifth.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't forget Forrest Whitaker's eye.
Okay, all right.
What did I do? Am I doing something?
What did I do?
What did I do?
You're going to go back to the list. I was going to touch on this. Sort of gives me an opportunity to touch on something. Castro, did you see Ready Player One?
Oh, so good.
Yes.
So good.
So Morgan has not seen Ready Player One. I'm going to throw this on the table because this is really throwing down a gauntlet. I think Ready Player One did the whole big battle way better.
Okay, now
I mean, it was clear. It was easy to view. As busy as it was, it was really had better visual flow. Me here.
What was the encroaching horde in Ready Player One? What were they fighting?
It was something out of like
some other team.
It was
they were fighting the other team, and then they were also trying to make it. Was it a big dragon in there as well?
And not the big things, but like the little things, because that's the point I'm trying to make. The little, when it's like the multiple things that you can kill over and over again. In Ready Player One, they were like robot things-ish or exoskeleton things. In Infinity, in Avengers, I don't think they sell the Hellhounds that well. They're just fodder. We don't care at all and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when we have big, expansive, that's always the key. Stormtroopers. You know what I'm saying? Or those stupid ass androids and clones. Or orcs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the thing. Michael, you make a decent point, but Ready Player One, it was so computer generated, you can get away with a lot more in the background.
Very true.
Instead of multi-mapping extras on top of it. You know what I'm saying? You can really get real finite. You can zoom in and do, a Metroid all the way in the background.
Sure.
And you could do the perfect lighting. Animation always gives you the opportunity to have the perfect lighting because you could light it the way you want.
Now you speaking more pace, Michael.
But that's effectively what they're doing in so much of a Marvel movie anyway. I mean, if Iron Man's in his suit, it's just a head attached to some animation. What I really mean is that in terms of watching a great big battle, it
and following
visually had more finesse. With all of that stuff on screen at the same time.
Michael.
When I saw Endgame, what I saw was like watching colonials fight over a piece of lawn. Here's this group lined up here. There's this group lined up here.
Right.
And we're just coming to the center. How much? I mean, we've seen that kind of battle so many times, even in Marvel's own movies. Even if it's superheroes running at each other across airports.
Michael, would you be looking for more of let's script out some intricate teamwork to be acted out in these scenarios?
I want the camera to move around more is what I want.
Okay.
So when there are in Ready Player One, when you have all that big battle stuff and all of those variety of characters and sizes and shapes and colors moving around the screen, the camera is moving a lot more in those
sequences. Way more.
Whereas in this, we're having lots of cuts or lots of places where you feel like you're watching, Empire Strikes Back, and I know where this cutout is on the map painting. So it felt very, very conventional in terms of how the larger battle scenes were shown. I'm not talking about the stuff that was more focused with Thanos or other.
Did you like Infinity War
final
battle better than this one?
I
Infinity War.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think
this one was of emotion. This one was like the emotion of seeing everybody come back was going to pass that scene more so than the logistics. But to me, Michael, I think seeing the full force of the good guys. Looking like they can overpower something. Because, Thanos always had the upper hand from even blowing up Asgard's ship. It seemed so much bigger. So when I saw so many portals open and I saw an equal force on our side, that's when I welled up yes, let's go. But as far as the execution, I think I want to watch it on the rewatch. Because Infinity War, they were able to break up the battles so they could get really more detail. Like the Thanos battle on Titan.
Yeah, I agree.
That was way more than when he went to Earth. Thanos, the big army thing was one thing, but Thanos on Titan, fighting them one by one, them teaming up, that was something else. I think we'll never see something that great again. I hope we will.
They gave us another great fight scene like that in Infinity War when Guardians of the Galaxy came up against Tony, Spider-Man.
Yes, and that little thing. Yes.
And Doctor Strange. There was a lot of camera movement there.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. No. Good point. Now they got
but I also think a great battle is to know where you're at. When I get lost, as to where are we at? That's when I lose it. So And Mike, I'm with you. I've seen so many big field battles. I watched all the Lord of the Rings. Like, you got to spice it up. So I think just the surprise of seeing characters that were gone for, in between movies, maybe that just filled the void for me, rather than it being like, I'm a Game of Thrones fan. And yes, the last episode was dark, but upon rewatch, we will see that this thing was really impressive. And they've done, Game of Thrones battles are, none to par. Like this is top notch work, every last one. So, I think Marvel is this like Marvel just now getting. This is the second big battle they've had, right? Because now we have to get to big battles in space and shit. With the Captain Marvel stuff, this will be.
I think this will be the third. You wouldn't count Black Panther, Infinity War, and
Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Black Panther.
Yeah. Black Panther was a huge battle.
Because even the Battle of New York was a smaller battle staged over the city, so you had characters come together and then characters split out into
but
smaller
we
stuff.
Focused on
and then characters come back
instead
together.
Of
right.
Wait, in Black Panther, you talking about the battle at the end with the rhinos and Killmonger and all that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Civil War doesn't qualify, right? Because that was like 6-on-6. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you were saying, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm with it. Okay. Cool, bro.
Let's see. What haven't we touched on? Do we have any lingering questions about things that happened in the film?
I think there's a lot, but I don't want to. Like, all right, we could go an hour into the time travel and the actual application, and all right. They say Loki has his own series coming to Disney Plus.
Right.
Then in this movie, Loki's able to create another timeline. Let's just call it what it is. That's right. I don't want to get mixed up. Loki's able to create another timeline. I mean, it was really hijinks. He picked up that thing and looked left and right and blinked out.
He literally didn't have to say a word. And his rainbow read, "I am the god of mischief."
Right.
Like, and now, check this out. He has very great scope. He's from the land of ice giants. He's also an ice guard. So he doesn't even need to go back there. I mean, he can go like anywhere with that gem, right? He can go to anywhere in the galaxy, right?
They've already shown us that Loki can be Loki anywhere in Thor Ragnarok. Loki can be himself, ridiculous mischief. He can find his way in any situation in Thor Ragnarok. By the time Thor showed up, Loki's a man. He's a man about town.
Yeah. Right. So he's good at a party. He's good at parties.
He's great at parties.
Yes.
Great at parties.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, but like those type of things, I think I want those to be answered with the miniseries. Just what I want to call them, the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
We can get all that.
To pull a Castro, would you be fine if that's just how it ends with Loki?
So me and Zilla talk about Loki a bunch because we're on the fence with him because it's like, all right, they don't do him right. Hiddleston is such like this heartthrob. He's like a sexy guy, so they started seeing his popularity. So he's like a villain, but not.
Huddleston?
Listen, seriously, yes. Like that's why they started making him good and putting him in all the movies.
He's got good bone structure, but
I don't know.
He looks so much better on his not as Loki.
Yeah,
and even
then,
it's
like
not
King Kong.
Here's why I'm saying they did it wrong. Loki is definitely a trickster, and he makes jokes and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Loki makes jokes and stuff in the comics and all that stuff. He's a trickster, but he still kills you. Like he's still like a murderer. Like
he's
he'll
a
make
full
a
murderer.
joke
Full murder.
And like murder you and like kidnap his father. Like that's what I think they don't get. Like make him like, oh, he's kind of funny and quick. Now here's the thing. They didn't know that Chris Hemsworth would be this funny. So he took away all those quips that would be Loki's.
Oh no, Loki
as they move forward.
Loki has his quips.
He is hilarious.
Sure.
Loki has
he is? Maybe I didn't watch those.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I forgot.
You haven't seen
really
it.
Yeah,
that's true. Frame reference.
Yeah.
Okay. Loki's fucking fantastic. And he has been from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
No question.
Okay.
He hasn't seen those two Thor movies.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
He has made that character what he is today.
Yeah.
That's why Michael and I literally looked at each other when you said he's a heartthrob. Like, to who? Like, that's not.
I mean, have you seen his audition
but I
tape
that's why
for
they
Thor when
him
he
to,
was
like...
originally recruited to be Thor?
Right.
Are you serious?
And he's got this blonde wig on and he's got musculature, but he's lanky.
Yeah.
You know, like really, what were they going to do?
What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about?
Hiddleston was originally pursued to be cast as Thor, and then
some Nicolas Cage long-haired Superman Thor shit.
yeah, that would be kind of it. Yeah.
To add to that little portion, Chris Hemsworth's younger brother made it farther in auditioning. He got like 4 callbacks.
Okay.
Right.
And Chris Hemsworth he just got to audition once and never heard anything again. And then
they're like spitting images of each other. That family, they're chiseled out of stone, the 3 of them boys.
Yeah, they are Norse gods, I think.
Yeah, like they. I mean, they
mythology.
Right.
Oh wait, the youngest one is short. He's not right. Isn't there one on Westworld? That's the other one, right? The little short.
The one on Westworld. I think.
He's the smallest one. He's the smallest one. Like he's smaller than his
going
brother.
back to your point about how you're saying they didn't do Loki properly. That they're not doing him justice as far as the full scope of what Loki is. I don't think that. Give me a second. I don't think the MCU has been created to give us characters that dark yet. It just hasn't.
Well,
DC.
I mean, but making him MCU, like the ha. I want to take over the world. Avengers, not Thor. So bear with me, y'all. So when he did the Avengers thing and it worked, but it was like I knew that couldn't. This is my thing. Ultron should have been 2 movies. They need a villain that you can carry on from one to the next. The way they did Loki when he did Avengers, I knew he wouldn't be like the big bad moving forward. So that's why Thanos popped up. I said, oh, okay, there it goes. So like when you don't create them properly, and this is something I think Marvel doesn't do well. You have space to carry these guys from one. We're comic book fans. We know the villain. I'll get away to face you another day. Like, Dr. Claw and Inspector Gadget.
To move forward. You have to move your plot forward.
For instance,
hold on, Doom
can't be one movie.
Doom
cannot be one movie.
Hold up.
There's no way. Dr. Doom. Like, that's he has his own fucking country.
Right.
So, why would you just make him the villain of the month more? That's all I'm saying. Like, some villains require sustainability.
Yeah, and I'm saying Loki didn't.
He was never a villain of the month.
He wasn't ever going to be a Thanos-level villain. Okay. So he served.
I knew that from Avengers. That's what I'm saying. I knew that from Avengers, but I felt like they lowballed him by making him the villain take over the world.
But you're missing the Thor stuff.
Yeah, you're missing
the Thor
stuff. Let's all gang up on him. You're missing 2 Thor movies because not only do you get a little bit more of Loki's dark side, but you also get a little bit of there's some little pathos, and you get to empathize with his position a little bit more because he's a giant. He's a son of a frost giant. And then Odin adopts him,
right.
and
he finds that out later.
Wants to be a good dad. He's not trying to do Loki wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So there's a little more there, and they gave the sinister, gnarly stuff to Thanos or any of his hench people, and they gave us a little of that darkness into the Guardian stuff,
But with the knowledge that I have with watching all of those movies is knowing that there's never a moment that you're supposed to trust Loki. There's never a moment that he's not being evil. So with what you just said, the that's a part of master manipulation. Like, I'm playing you off right now in your face, and I'm literally not even in front of you. I'm a double, and I took what you wanted and all of that. Like, he's always being a villain. He's just not a grand scale villain.
Right.
But he's a villain to everybody. I mean, like, the way that Thor talks about it, one of my favorite things is that story that he's
that was so funny.
One time when I was holding a snake and I was admiring it because he knows I love snakes. And then it turned into Loki and he was like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Ah!"
And he stabbed me.
All right, but here's the thing. Here's the thing what happened with that. I didn't see the other movies, but I knew about like the Warriors 3 and not what was the other, Sith.
Yeah.
But then when they did Hela, just wipe all that clean. Like, Hela Mia Zilla came up with this thing. We think they rushed her. Hela? Like, that's a villain that needed. Yeah, that was fast. All of a sudden she's here, she's all powerful, then they kill her, or Sersa kills her. That was too quick. Y'all don't think so?
Fair enough, but no, I don't, because these movies aren't meant to be forever. These are movies. These are not seasons. right?
Mm-hmm.
So
no, Morg, I know that, but like, okay.
So what I'm saying is, you can't expect to have 8 Thor movies to play out the hundreds of years of comic history that's there, right? So, yeah, they got to cut to some of that quick. They got to get done with it. That might be the last Thor movie.
Mm-hmm. But if you do Killmonger right, he only has to be in one movie. Don't you feel like Hela was rushed, considering this history of her being like the sister and the power she just pops up?
I'll give you that all of the story we were given felt like a rushed story given. Like they could have done that differently. But it didn't make it any less for me.
Worse or better.
Yeah.
What about Ultron? What about Ultron?
Go 1 second. Let's go back to Ragnarok. Because that movie was less about Hela than it was about Thor. Okay. Really.
That was literally about finding yourself.
Yeah. Really. And them having the understanding about, what has to happen with Asgard moving forward.
And reconciliation and redemption.
Right. Mm-hmm. And how Ragnarok had to happen. It was inevitable.
Right.
You can't stop that. So it was definitely
needed Hela to defeat
Surtur to defeat Hela.
Or not to defeat, but to be killed. They needed that to kill her to be done.
Right.
So that didn't. I mean, I hear you, but I implore you to watch the other 2 movies.
Yeah, you just.
So I'm gonna watch those, but I'm
only ever gonna have shorthand.
Yeah. Like you just
I'm gonna watch it.
You saying as far as the MCU versus comics?
Yeah,
I agree.
You can do less shorthand in a TV series.
Yeah,
but even we have to consider that while we've loved comics for most of our lives and are very invested in many universes and continuities and retroactive continuities and all of those messes of things, my mom cannot track that. But my mom will actually watch a couple of Marvel movies with my nephew. She doesn't get it, but at least it's simplified enough for her to follow.
And it works.
And that's where you're able to bring, we're the adults that are bringing the families. Our peers are bringing their families. Kids are going because there's merchandise and because it's superheroes. But it's got to be simplified so that it can be digested. We can't have that level of nuance
that give you
in movies. That's why we got the comic books to go back and go, oh, wow, look at all this. They solved the Infinity Gauntlet problem without using time travel.
Exactly.
So so the comics get to be their own thing and the movies get to be their own thing.
Right.
And
great point.
It doesn't have to conflict. We got Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury only because they used him as the model for the Nick Fury in the Ultimates.
In Ultimates,
before they even let him know.
Which is largely where the MCU seems to, I feel like, has a little more birth.
Yes.
A little more of the birthplace of the MCU comes from that kind of
the Ultimates,
thinking about characters, trying to think about them in a modern context. And so on.
I would credit Bryan Singer for setting the standard and making that clear with X-Men. There was a lot of, because of how beloved that those characters are. He made it very clear in interviews. Understand, this movie, the cinematic universe, is completely separate. Once he said that, all us fanboys, all us collectors, we were like, we backed off completely. And then that was the understanding with all the cinematic universes moving forward. Hey guys, this is separate. Don't hold us to these standards.
Well, I keep harping because there was a point that he made. Like, all right, Ultron, right? Sped up, kind of mixed up his origins and stuff from what he originally was with Tony Stark. So James Spader did such a good job, but then they made him like angry as Ultron, too much and calculating for me. So then, of course, they're going to be able to figure him out in one movie because he's ruled by emotions. And I don't think Ultron is like that at all. So, like, that's where I keep coming at, was he rushed? Because if you have a decent villain who's working with a great actor, why not bring him back in another capacity for another film? Do you have to blow him up and destroy him and move on to the next?
Do you feel like Thanos needs another movie?
No, Thanos, he got 2 movies. So he's illustrating my point.
Okay, but
now,
so wait. Thanos got 2 movies, but what other villain have we seen so far that is on par with Thanos? You got to scale the villains the same way you do the heroes.
I know. Me and Zilla did a list. We did a list. Top 4 villains. All right. Thanos, Killmonger, Baron Zemo, and Vulture.
Oh, this is just MCU.
Yes. Yeah, okay. just MCU.
Okay, well, how about you do a list of the ones that were actually used?
Well, we used all
of those were used.
Oh. Mm-hmm. What was the third one?
But
he's a Killmonger.
No.
Killmonger.
Oh, Baron
Zemo.
Baron Zemo is from Civil War.
The regular guy that pit them against each other. Yeah. Like, that was
he's
genius.
Different in the books.
And then Vulture, he was frightening. Can you imagine going to the prom? Oh, love it. I love it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead, Mark.
So you're saying that those villains are on par with Thanos?
I was just giving a list of top 4. And I was saying, I was giving that list.
Castro, you said Thanos got 2 movies.
Right.
So Am said, who are the other villains that are on par?
Okay, fair, yeah, they did.
So that kind of a list of top 4. My whole point was who rivals?
Who deserves more screen time?
Arguably, Killmonger and Vulture.
And I think Vulture's set up to have more screen time. For sure.
Yeah, but he'll be in jail for a little bit. And stuff.
But they're not done with him though.
Still around.
So wait. Here, let me ask y'all something. Y'all don't think, other than Thanos, MCU's not strong enough to have a villain that can last 2 movies?
I think moving forward with the individual franchises breaking back up, and them being able to develop these characters in their own little parts of the universe, we're going to get that. You can't introduce the Fantastic Four and not keep Doctor Doom as a constant. It's the same way with all the Batman films. Joker is always going to get out of jail. It's just what happens. So I think moving into this next phase, we'll definitely get that. If Spider-Man gets the Sinister Six doesn't get killed. These guys take turns getting in and out of jail.
I think they go with this movie rule and cinematic rule when we're trying to tell them this is where comic rule works. We know of the villain that gets away. Like you said, the Joker that breaks out of jail all the damn time. We don't care.
Loki's an example of that. Loki's an example.
He always slips out.
He's an ever-present villain.
He always slips around.
Right.
But they made him likable where he's not evil all the way.
You haven't seen all of Loki. You haven't seen all of Loki.
I know, but all right. But the Loki I have seen, I can say that he's not super evil. He's helping Thor in Ragnarok. He's under captivity in some of the other ones. So y'all get what I'm saying?
No, go back to what Morgan said before. Every version of Loki we've seen is still a Loki that's not to be trusted. Even after
likable or not,
right? Even after he tried to assassinate Thanos, and then he comes back trying to strike another deal. Loki is always working in his own service. Period. It doesn't matter the stakes. It really doesn't. He had an opportunity in Ragnarok to really just mend things.
Yeah.
He really did have an opportunity to do that. And he chose to play him again. You know what I mean? So I think you're gonna have villains that need to have a beginning and end, and you're gonna have villains in these next couple of phases that will be constants.
I think you have to also remember that again, they're mapping out 10 movies at a time. They show you a phase. That's at least 10 movies, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
At least 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So they're mapping all of that out, and at least in this, in what we've seen so far, they've then connected and interwoven those stories.
Right.
So we can't spend as much time on one villain like you can in Daredevil, where they have 3 seasons of trying to get the same person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We got to show you how big and bad and how much we can overcome in as many movies to get to the big boss, for lack of a better word. They have to do that.
Is Spider-Man built better for the continuous villain?
I think I think the way they handled the entire MCU, let's really think about it real quick. And I don't want to hold on to this too long because we don't want to stretch the episode out.
I'm sorry, y'all.
But think about how they built all of the franchises. Every single franchise had its multiple villains that they had to deal with. Let's not overlook Ronan the Accuser.
Right.
He was serious business.
He was just whack, though.
Yeah. But wait. He popped up not only in Guardians, he's also in Captain Marvel. You know what I'm saying? These are consistent villains that are out here. So, yeah, you gotta have these. You gotta have the same way we have different levels of heroes. We gotta have different levels of villains. That's consistent with the books.
They can't just be across the board because they're likable. Be the same weight as someone else.
For every Lex Luthor, you got a Gorilla Grodd. It just has to work.
Right, a regular guy. Like, all right, Ego was frightening to me. Like that was pretty heavy when I saw the scope of what Ego was doing. Yeah. Like, and it's Kurt Russell, and he's smiling, and then had the young Kurt Russell, the brown hair, but he's committing with the galacticide.
Correct.
And he's killing all his children. Plus, he wanted that galactic over all the planets. So, that was kind of big. But I'm glad they got rid of him in one season. But I was my thing. My only thing more, I was just trying to say that as comic book fans, which is the spine and the nervous system of this thing, we can stand a villain that gets away. That's all. I think that's just the thing. That's part of our story, so you don't have to not use that if you want to.
Right.
Moving forward.
So I just had one questionable. No, there's plenty, but one that's worth mentioning for me right now is it seemed as if the rules that they made within this movie for time travel in the way of we are able to do this because we have this machine and we have the pin particles. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's the way we can go directly to where and then the GPS thing. Right. So we know exactly where we go and where we come back out, if we come back out. Mm-hmm. So Thanos gets just beamed in.
Okay, I got to answer.
Wait, let her finish.
Thanos gets beamed in by Bad Nebula when she, she just pushes a bunch of buttons. All of a sudden, a hole opens and he just comes through.
Right.
Well, no, does he crash?
I got to answer.
Yeah.
Either
hold on. Go ahead.
So my question would be, he doesn't have the suit. He doesn't have the pin particle. How does he just get to come through?
Okay.
With their rules that they created for this movie.
Yes. Okay. If you notice that what's the name of this ship? What's the name of the ship?
Sanctuary.
The Sanctuary. It was miniaturized when it came out the van, and then it got bigger and flew through the window. She did steal some pin particles. I remember that specifically, right?
When? Mm-hmm.
And she did steal, like she's like, the past
Nebula handed off a vial of pin particles.
A vial.
Oh, yes, she did.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
And there's another thing.
Before she pulled the swap.
When they captured...
Yeah, before she came back, she gave Thanos the pin particles.
Talk to your friends, ladies and gentlemen.
and when they captured Future Nebula, they took the locator thing off her hand first.
Yes.
So they obviously kept that.
I do remember.
And then when she was typing up things, she wasn't just typing things more. She interfaced with the machine. She let her hand go in it. So that's probably what gave her an understanding.
No, she did that.
No, I'm just saying that's probably what she figured out getting up to speed.
Yeah.
Figuring out, how to do it.
I didn't mean to say she didn't know what she was doing and was just like
trying to figure out how the science of them traveling.
Right. Like there was very clear. It was a very controlled environment. Mm-hmm.
And sorry, they also had access to Nebula's memories, so they got to watch everything on film if they needed to fill in any blanks on how to do stuff.
Cliff notes.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I'll buy it.
I had one. When Professor Hulk took possession of the Time Stone.
You could just hold it?
You could just hold it.
You could just hold these?
So is it... So... And we did discuss that, Nick was able to hold the Tesseract.
Yeah, but that wasn't...
It was an exposed stone.
Right.
I think it might be stone specific.
Okay. We thought maybe that might have been it too.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay,
yeah.
Because the Power Stone
was like
particular.
Yeah.
And so Peter Quill having the ability to hold it. And then
but they had to disperse that energy through everybody.
Yeah.
But also forget, we didn't know that Peter was alien. That's why he was also able to hold it.
True.
At that point in that movie, we didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, the Time Stone seems like they kind of hold it. It floats in space. Because the Ancient One did the same thing when she So I think the Time Stone, because it's in the possession of Ancient One and then Doctor Strange, there's a spell with it. So they just, there's a little spell with it that goes with it. Because they put the Tesseract in a briefcase.
Yes.
At the very least,
was running around with it like it was Home Depot.
One of those padded ones, though.
Right. there was something.
That thing was bouncing around in there. Like,
no.
Yeah. Does he put it in his pocket?
But that was the Tesseract was in the protective
travel around with.
Even have pants with pockets.
You know, he didn't bring a capsule to put it in.
Yeah, like there was no. Your hand is too big. There's no way you can close that tight enough.
Right.
Professor Hulk has the mini wallet.
No, we saw
he has the mini wallet that slips right in. Look, he has a thing. He has a thing hooked to his keychain, to his belt loop. He's Professor Hulk. I mean, he's Professor Hulk. So he got, he might have like a little cachet thing that clicks and locks.
Okay. Yeah, could be.
Press pocket.
With a little carabiner. I think we've covered most of our lingering questions.
Okay.
We should say aloud that the Russo brothers basically said that Steve Rogers was in a separate timeline with
Peggy.
With Peggy.
Yes. Right.
So that doesn't mess anything up.
Okay.
And that let's see, we covered that Spider-Man: Far From Home is the final movie of Phase 3.
Right.
Yes. That's what
and we do know after this, although I don't think anything is officially announced. We'll probably get that at San Diego Con. We know that Black Widow, Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, and the Eternals are pretty much what's
confirmed
next.
for the next phase. Yeah.
I heard something different. I heard those are getting pushed a little bit, like Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange 2 in particular.
Doctor Strange, that's right. Yes. Okay,
so I heard that they were pushing that to get Eternals out, to get these other prequel Black Widow, these things that are happening, things that were happening while we were watching this, or before this.
Is supposed to start shooting in 2020 after he's done with after James Gunn is done with Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Okay.
But Eternals starts in September, and I think it's September, and I think Black Widow starts soon.
We know that's a prequel.
Yeah,
we know Black Widow's a prequel.
It's got to be. She's dead.
It's got to be.
Until she's not dead until she doesn't come back, as far as I'm concerned.
Because you know what? Hold up, guys.
I can just see Natalie.
Hold up, Castro.
Just like I have been through so much. I'm gonna check out for a little bit. I mean, the Hulk did.
So here's what's funny. Here's what's funny about Michael's angle.
Cracked her head open though.
Here's what's funny about Michael's angle. It's typical Marvel. They don't really kill anyone off, do they?
Yeah.
They bring everybody in. Wolverines. Wolverines come back. I mean, like, come on, But I think for the sake of the movies.
As far as the comic trope,
I think for the sake of the movies, I think it's going to be a prequel.
But they haven't even established death as an entity in the universe. That would help me with all the resurrections and shit. You just got to go down there and do it.
I don't want that at all.
We
don't want that.
I don't know if we need that.
No, if they go with magic from New Mutants and Mephisto, I love all that. Mephisto, I was in love with all that stuff. I'm sorry. Like, I love hell being a whole nother realm and you go down there and get people and come back. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So I think rewatchability is an easy one to cover. Some of us have already seen it.
Well, what about it being a part
rewatched? What do you mean?
Well, what about it being a part 2? Like now, when you get the home versions, will you watch it by itself or will you watch Infinity War?
I look forward to watching them as a marathon, as a day,
Okay.
Sort of spreading out, maybe having lunch in between the two movies.
A day with Thanos.
Yeah. I do look forward to that because I think I'll enjoy Infinity War more, and that'll be satisfying because I really like James Brolin a lot in Endgame.
Josh,
for what little he was on screen as Thanos. Josh Brolin. Oh my gosh,
it happens.
He mentions his father
and with Cable at the same time. Don't forget with Cable at the same time.
Cable, right?
Yeah. All right. Going to score this thing? Huh?
Sure. Score. What's our scale? 1 to 5, or is it 1 to 4?
Well, it was 1 to 5 between the four of us. Okay. Your face was just like, I'm not sure.
I never remember.
Morgan's already checked out. So, Michael, we scored with no names. Considering that our name, it's no name. It's existential as fuck. But we do solid numbers. We used to try to get into decimals, and Moore got really mad at me, so we don't do decimals
we
anymore.
don't do decimals. Ooh, I
guess
I cheated at Captain
was using
Marvel.
it to. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, so it's 1 to 5.
Scale 1 to 5?
Or is it 1 to 4?
I think it's 4.
1 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
4. It's the amount of people in the call.
It's us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
All right. So let's start with MJ.
Guest.
Oh, it was already a guess. Michael, 1 to 4. What would you give it?
3.
Ooh.
Oh wait, you're being serious?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's always
serious.
I'm always serious.
My bad. I was on a joke, and obviously I was on the outside in the cold.
You're on the inside.
In the hateful eight, and you know,
Hateful eight.
Oh, okay.
Quentin didn't want to. He didn't cast me because I didn't say nigger enough, even though it's like. Anyway, let's keep. Sorry.
Cash, what do you give it?
You know what it is? No. I will give it, but you know what it is? I saw Pulp Fiction the other day, and I watched the scene where Jules and them first pull up with Homeboy shot up.
Yeah.
And he goes into, and nobody get offended, but he goes into the dead nigga storage thing, and I was like, that was unnecessary. But anyway, I digress.
I'm in that place now, honestly. I'm in a different
place.
It's
a little unnatural.
Yeah.
That was pretty unnatural to me, like looking on it now. But okay.
Yes.
So a score. What I got 1 to 4, right?
Correct.
Okay, I give it an 8. It's tough to just grade it as one movie because it really is the culmination of a lot of movies for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll just for the sake of math, I will go with a strong 4. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's a 5 because I think they did a perfect job of bringing me to this destination. Like I couldn't ask for anything more. So I think a 5 in spirit, but I'll give a 4 for the officials. 4 for the official score.
I'm the same. I think you, for what was executed and for the culmination of all of that, even if this is never my favorite MCU movie,
right?
It's still
an achievement,
a humongous achievement.
Yeah.
Like, I think that people don't understand how big and how much they've mapped this out. Like, that somehow is getting missed.
And can anybody help me? Did they zigzag directors?
Like, right. Say again?
Did they zigzag directors? Like, did they have ideas for directors? Did they change their mind, Michael? Do you know? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, did they want? Like, did they want what's his name to do another one? No, like people that did the good ones before. Did they want who did
like Favreau did a bunch?
No, I mean who did the first Captain America?
Oh, Joe Johnston.
Like a
designer
right.
of Boba
So
Fett.
did they want So like I'm just wondering if anybody caught wind of that.
No,
looking at that.
You know?
I definitely
and like because like Josh Whedon couldn't pull off some of the stuff that the Russo brothers did just because of style. Like period. Like we know that, right?
Sure.
Like
So yeah.
Thank God they never had Brian. Did Brian Singer do anything?
No.
Right?
No.
Oh man.
No.
He is a movie STD. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's anymore.
Well,
where we at?
He did.
I don't like him.
So
I don't like what he does to him.
So my score. I've said it a couple times.
Sorry. Yeah.
I too. I give it a 4. I definitely give it a 4.
I'm the lone dissenter. That's a comfortable role.
It's a comfortable role. I've been here before.
To echo your
point
about
to do some
scope.
crude math, that's 4, 8, 12, 17 divided by 12 is. Whoa! I totally lost myself just now. Okay. Oh, that's whoa! What'd I do? 17 divided by 4.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
So it's a score of a 4.2. Oh, we're not doing decimals. So.
Oh well, yeah. If you're averaging it, then you have.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, but.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop.
No choice but I'm sorry.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right here.
It's quite all right.
We've just been like, it was great.
Stop.
It was a good movie. So just to piggyback off of Morgan's point about the scope of the film, I remember going into this having a conversation with my brother saying, "There's never been a film like this." Just looking at the cast, having this many stars in one, not across they're all here, guys, for this one movie.
Yeah.
Like this is huge.
Some of these stars are bigger than when they started with the MCU.
Yeah.
Because of other things they've done, or just not just getting popular within the MCU. People that were able to branch out and do other stuff. Not many did. Like, did Robert Downey Jr. do anything else since Tropic Thunder? He's been doing this strictly, right?
I don't think he's had to.
Yeah, right.
I know that.
He's been Iron Man in real life.
I heard he got a
Sherlock Holmes,
$5 million back end payout.
Sherlock was something. Yeah. Sherlock wanted to.
Sherlock. Y'all, he got $75 million back end with his percentage.
I read
$75 million
75 to 125.
Oh my God.
Shut your mouth.
I also read, and this was crazy to me, that look at Michael's face. I just said I read.
Right.
I'm not throwing this out as I know this to be true. But I also saw that he, for Spider-Man, made like $7 million for the 3 days that he spent shooting.
No, man.
Get out.
His character's that important, man.
Wild.
His character is just that important.
He negotiated differently. Mostly back end. Like, give me a percentage of that instead.
I heard he wanted Iron Man in there because they didn't have like a solid person who would be his mentor. Just say when they reacclaimed him from Sony. It's like what other superheroes? Yeah, what other superhero fucks with him in the Spider-Man movies? Nobody, right? Not even like a hint of anybody, right?
Right. No.
Not one. Not like I'm saying, like somebody depowered that we know will be a superhero later. Not even one.
Nobody.
So, it's his first like co-starring billing.
Yeah.
I just want to check in here. Are we having some moment of amazement that there's this many big stars in one movie?
I definitely did.
Okay. I haven't seen It's a Mad World, or I mean, there's other things historically like the Death on the Nile or some other Agatha Christie films where you have these huge Hollywood casts where you have the same. It's not the same kind of
I think my
blockbuster adventure.
But
I guess from being middle aged, I'm not that impressed that there's a whole bunch of movie stars in one movie.
So I'm less.
But
less about
the mod.
Hold up, Castro. Go ahead.
Go ahead, more, because I can't even get the word out. I'm sorry, and I've been doing it to you most of the night, and I really apologize. Go ahead, more. Now you know Afro's fly. Go ahead. All right.
It's less about the amount of stars for me, and more about what those particular people meant to all of those movies. So
okay, now I understand.
To bring all of those people in the room is like kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
To think about what that looks like. I saw an overhead shot of their trailers, like from Ellen or something like that, and it was so expansive that that was a mind blowing moment for me. That they are all there. They're all there. They're all. Did you guys see Chris Pratt's video?
The one he snuck.
Footage. The one he snuck.
Footage of them on set.
But that's not Gamora.
No, I haven't seen it.
There's some stunt doubles. But he totally, like, there was, no cameras on the set, no cell phones and whatnot, and he totally snuck a video of
green screen set. It was like a green screen set. Which
Chris Evans was there, Drax.
Tom Holland. Everyone.
Oh, Tom Holland.
There was the Gamora was a stunt double, but everyone else is pretty much there.
But everybody else is Nebula,
Mantis.
The scheduling must have just been amazing,
right?
Especially now in the 21st century. Versus, it was probably a lot easier to organize bigger casts 40 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're on set and y'all are just there.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. A lot of these people didn't do outside projects during this arc. Some did. Like
Chris Pratt was
Chris Evans did.
Busy. He was.
Chris Pratt was super busy.
Yeah, but they did
not
shoot
Pratt.
this
Who's Chris Pratt? Not Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt was super busy. He's Star-Lord. He was on Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he was busy,
and he was in Jurassic Park.
But Chris Evans did what's that movie with the train? That's my shit.
But the weight loss, they that part of that play. Remember, they actually joked about that in Parks and Rec. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like he knew that was his last season with Parks and Rec, though.
Okay.
And that to be able to do that.
Got you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Chris Evans did that movie about the train. Oh my God, I just watched it.
That was good.
Chris Evans has also been on Broadway recently. He was on Broadway last year. Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
I think it is. I think y'all. I'm taking Robert Downey, and thinking that other people are as inactive and outside projects as he is.
They're doing a lot. Scarlett Johansson's always doing something.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's in so many more movies. Than
like Don Cheadle, he's thinned out. He's
in like 15 shows that I haven't been able to watch yet. Don Cheadle's
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
What shows? On cable?
Yeah, he's on the Showtime show. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that Black Monday shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yes.
The one before that.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so I'm sorry, y'all. You know this. I guess I'm just honed in. This is an experience movie for me, and I'm forgetting all the other stuff. But what I will notice is we will see these people like out there in effect, all of them. Like, you know, Batista did fucking
Hotel Artemis.
Blade Runner. Blade Runner was what I was thinking about.
Oh.
Blade Runner 2049. He was in that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh, it's so good. It's Morgan. It's dedicate some time. It takes a minute. Like
because Ryan's in it. Is that what you're trying to do? You trying to give her some gossip time?
I'm sorry. Who's that?
Oh, I didn't know. You know. I thought I was keep her away from the Momoa. I didn't know.
Well, the Momoa has shaved his beard, so I don't think he's much of a.
Yeah,
he's out of the game now.
Oh, y'all giving up on that Momoa? Yeah. Wow.
He looks like a weirdo now. He looks really weird.
What a
Lisa
day.
Bonet is not pleased. Everybody be clear. She does not want her man looking like that.
Wow.
Over there, like, bring the beard back.
This is not what I signed up
this
for.
Is not what I signed up for.
You know he's gonna get a contract with a beard product. That's another mill right there. He's gonna get a contract with a beard product to grow back. Well, yeah. Ryan Gosling plays this quiet, brooding person. How many words did he say in the whole movie? Am?
I haven't seen it yet. I still gotta see it.
Michael
saw it.
Well, hey, here's a quick quiz for y'all. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't know I never saw Blade Runner, the original.
Wait, you watched Blade Runner, the sequel, without watching the first? That's why
I never saw it.
I need to watch the first one again.
Over the years, I've seen so much expose about Blade Runner. It's like I've watched the movie.
You know what? This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do, Castro. As we close out the episode, I'm going to tell you. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad method that you're doing here.
Reading the headlines and then forming an opinion.
You're cheating yourself over and over again with this policy.
Like specific, like Blade Runner. I've seen so much like essays and
Castro.
Oh my God,
Castro. No. Think about it like this. For everything that you read and everything that you view on YouTube, you're merely getting that person's perspective of the film. Right. You're never getting your own.
I can agree with that.
So don't.
But
stop
I'm a Dune watcher. Who the fuck watched the original Dune? They don't like them.
I love Dune, and I can't wait for the reboot. So let's wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael, for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you, Michael, for dealing with me, Michael. Now you've had the Castro experience.
Oh, man.
And I love you, too. I love you more. I just want people to know out there, like, this is an amazing movie, y'all. I think a review and the reviews I'm watching, nothing is really going to do it justice to the impact it's had, it's having, will have, and it will be in our collections. And like this two-parter was so heavy, I can compare it to the Back to the Future trilogy. I could do it. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's 2 to 3, we could do it. So big shout out, y'all. Everybody out in the world. Big shout out to Josh Brolin. This has been one of the most difficult characters I've ever seen portrayed on screen.
Yeah.
Some people, you watch DC mess up like Dark Side or whatever like that, and you're like, or you watch X-Men mess up Apocalypse.
Okay.
And I can't pull off Thanos.
You have to stop now.
Yeah.
Why would you give me that heartache? Why would you give me that heartache? Who would bring up Apocalypse?
No.
Castro, hang up the phone.
Hey, y'all. X-Men is coming to an end, y'all. I'm going to the funeral. I'm gonna go see Dark Phoenix. I'm gonna crack the bottle. I'm gonna crack the bottle on the. When they send ships out to die, they crack the bottle. Do that. I'm gonna salute it. It's done, man. We're finished, man. We're done, man. It's over with, Morg. You ain't got no more. You ain't gotta do this no more.
Listen, I'm gonna go see that movie no matter what. Nightcrawler's in it, so I'm there.
Yeah, she's totally
not the real Nightcrawler, not the good one.
No,
damn, you better tell her.
No, I understand. Listen, I gotta take what I can get right now.
She loves Nightcrawler. Period.
X-Men 2 Nightcrawler was perfect.
Yes.
What was that guy?
Yeah.
What was his name?
He was amazing.
Who was the guy that played him?
Tim.
Yes. Yes.
He was in Cabaret.
Irish?
Yes.
He was in Cabaret?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the lead in Cabaret
for
a million years. Ralph?
And they
No. Roth was in the Hulk.
No. Back up. Back up. But he was able to play that religious role, too, which is hard for Nightcrawler. Y'all, I'm sorry, man. Damn.
I can't believe, why can't I think of his name?
I know, I feel so bad.
And as soon as you say it,
I'm
just going to cringe.
It's right there, I'm sorry. It's going to creep y'all out all night until you're going to wake up in the middle of the night. Ah!
They're double dialing phones here.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, because there he is. What's his name? Alan Cummings!
That's
Alan
it.
Cummings.
Alan Cummings.
There it is.
Cumming.
I do that.
Now, I heard he didn't want to continue with the franchise. That's probably why. That's why they changed him up.
Well, he was the best.
He was amazing.
That's fine with me.
That Nightcrawler was amazing.
I will take all the Nightcrawler.
Who's this guy? Who's
the young kid?
Crawler, the young version.
Young Crawler.
Who is this kid? Is he? Do I know him from anything else?
I doubt it.
You know, he looks
None
like.
of us have looked into any of this Phoenix business. We're waiting for a trailer that someone can believe in. Okay.
That doesn't show you the Mystique dies. You're waiting for the trailer that doesn't show you the Mystique dies.
Right.
Keep waiting, sister.
Keep waiting, sister. I'm just saying. I'm not looking up anybody.
Right.
For what? I know I'm just gonna go see this movie,
right.
And that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
All right, I ain't going to open the weekend though.
No.
Good night.
You don't need to.
Good night. Pleasant dreams.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Excellent. You're still here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of A Podcast Has No Name. If this is your first time checking us out, please subscribe. We are available on Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify, and pretty much everywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Podcast Has No Name. Deuces.
Subscribe, please. Click and comment.